Glasnow.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting, like, we got closer after, we were extremely close at Duke. And
Yeah.
then, but it was a few years I was there. And then when I left, like, this whole music thing happened. All right, Steve. The whole music thing happened, but like, really, like, even when I was making my first songs at Duke, Marcus was right there. Like,
That's
he
sick.
always loved it.
That's tight.
Always, like, believed and, like, was a fan and was like, yo,
That's
you're
fucking sick.
way before, really even, like, before I was thinking like that.
I feel like early on you probably need that shit too, because that's a vulnerable fucking industry. Like
is.
dude, I look at the shit you do and like I can't like, I'm open and like I can be myself, but that shit's fucking tough. That's like a big vulnerability test.
You know what it is? It's yeah, like you gotta. I really, really like love it, and I would challenge anyone who like has some type of urges to go do like put themselves out in front of people. You learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
You really do. Like when you like, you really have to be okay with yourself to be like, okay, I don't care what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and then you get so strong from enduring that.
Yeah.
That like, you know, I don't know. I think because I grew up, I was like always like the best athlete growing up. And I was living in Rhode Island, so I was really the best athlete.
For sure.
You know, best baseball player.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's a few other guys, but like that shit, you know, the I can do whatever type of feeling that it gave me.
Yeah.
Just translated. Like I wasn't a great student, but I would always get great grades because I just like I was like, I can do this, you know.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
That's
part of my
cool.
job.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, you got into fucking Duke. That's not easy.
yeah,
Like,
and I was a
good.
great, like you know, on paper, a great student, but I didn't love it. I didn't want to learn. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. Like, "Ah, let me fucking learn today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know, fucking a bitch and having her go take notes for me, and then I'd learn the notes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so Duke's not gonna love to hear that, but you know,
Duke.
go to Duke, guys.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I was wired. I was just like, how am I gonna get this? I can do it. How can I get it done? You know? And then the music thing, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just had this like weird confidence about it.
That's cool.
And I didn't even, I think the ignorance is bliss thing was a little bit of a factor because I didn't even know. I mean, it worked. I don't know, it worked. But like, I did not know how much of a long shot it was when I was doing it and starting out. Like, I was just like, yeah, I could do this. Like, I kind of like looked at what was happening on the internet. There was like, I was unaware of guys like Mac Miller. I was unaware of these guys at the time.
Yeah.
And then when I did one song and I put it out, I became very aware very quickly that like, oh, they're putting me in this, like, there's like a white rapper thing going on, college-age white rappers. And I didn't even know it existed. I was just a baseball player listening to Drake. I was on Drake super early.
You were in your bubble. You were in your baseball
Yeah,
bubble.
I didn't know about it. Like,
yeah.
I really didn't. I liked like super rap shit. Like I didn't even know these guys existed.
Yeah.
But then right away I was categorized with them.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like right away I looked at them. I was like, I could do this.
Hell yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
Because, and I gave Mac Miller, like I didn't get to give it to him in person, unfortunately, but I had a podcast where I talked about it. Like as you take inventory of your life, like, and you look back, like he was a big part of me, like feeling confident. And it's not to say that I thought I could be as good as him or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's more so just like, he was just a white kid, like with his buddies walking around shooting a video. Like, you know, like he was talking about his life and like my life was similar. And like, it gave me this like, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure you had like a mutual respect for one another too.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I mean, we were just trending to, you know, become, you know, get to meet because we were crossing paths a bit. And then really it's Post. Post, I got close with Post and then Post started to get close with Mac. And, you know, Post basically kind of more or less was just like, yeah, like we had talked about you one night and he had said he had been watching and it would have been like super nice to be able to tell him that because I was going to. I wanted to tell him that in person, be like, yo, you know, like tip of the hat to like, you showed, and then he died like right there. He lived right around the corner too.
In LA?
Yeah.
Really?
Studio City, yeah.
Damn.
And he died before I got to meet him. Post was really just starting to get close with him.
That's crazy.
And me and Post were just getting, you know, very close at the, you know, and he was in LA a lot before Post went to Utah. But it was an interesting pocket because I remember wanting to say that to him.
Yeah.
Because I had some time had gone by and I thought about that and like, wow, I didn't really like think about it as it was happening, but like in hindsight, he really was a big influence.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah,
That's
like a
cool.
rite of passage. Like
Hell yeah.
you could try this, you could do this. So yeah, back to like what I was saying, it was a confidence that overlapped from athletics
Mhm.
really into I spilled over into the rest of my life and music was just like kind of the same wave. Like I was just like, I could do this, yeah,
That's
let's run it up. Like
yeah.
I didn't
Then
know
think
where
about it
I didn't
after.
know where it was going,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like
That's
it
probably why it genuinely, like, worked out, I'm sure. Like, if you were to force it or, like, if you were to try to plan it out, like, I have a team of people who are gonna, like, who spread me out this way and this way and this way, like,
Mhm.
I guess it takes all the genuine, like, fun and bullshit out of it.
And dude, like it's a huge when you start, we've talked a bunch out back, so we're gonna go through.
Mhm.
Already one of my favorite athlete conversations, not to pigeonhole the athletes at all,
Yeah, you hear
but
that?
you know what I'm saying? Like just very well versed and well
Yeah,
rounded,
no,
super
thank you, man.
impressive.
Thank you.
But man, it's interesting what when your perspective changes, what it does for your life. I don't know.
Yeah.
We talked about it a bunch for you. Let's go into an intro because I haven't yet.
Okay, yeah.
Um, we got Tyler Glasnow here. He's a what 27-year-old,
27.
27-year-old, and I mean the dude is like I told him probably one of the only guys who's a baseball part of that world in some way or another, and haven't got to see you throw. But dog, you're a dog.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very
Everyone's
much.
everyone like I got tons of buddies that play, as you know, and I ask these questions like who are the guys? So like DeGrom, Glasnow, those
That's
guys.
cool. That's
So to
very
be in the
sick.
same fucking breath, obviously DeGrom's doing incredible shit, but dog, you're in a special spot in your life right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thank you,
hell
yeah.
yeah. Have you really dialed in? Like, have you really tapped into what's going on and like, holy shit, I'm really one of the best pitchers in the world type thing? Like, not to
Yeah, no,
and
I
you
know
don't
what
have to
you're
give
saying.
me like I know. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. You're a humble guy. I know that already just from talking with you, but I'm saying I always challenge the athletes that's just to like really think about what's happening in their life. Like
Yeah.
you really got to where you dreamed of getting.
Yeah.
And then you in particular, like there's a certain crop of guys that are in that even smaller fraternity of like the elites, or
Sure.
obviously you're young, so you're
Yeah.
just entering that category, but with what you're doing so far, it's pretty special, man. It's
Yeah, I mean,
really special.
I think I have all the potential in the world for sure. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's hard for me to even put myself, like, I'm definitely humble, but I know, like, I'm talented and I know, like, the skill I have. But I think, like, in terms of how early my career is, like, for me to put myself in a category with, like,
That's fair.
DeGrom and everything, I'm like, it's different. Like, I think I could be that for sure. I have that potential, but like, where I stand now,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give you the humble answer, but like,
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
that's
just,
fair.
yeah, like,
That's
that dude is
fair.
a
But
machine.
I'm still more so talking about you just thinking about your life, not comparing it to DeGrom, like, or even because yeah, there's probably some more just time that needs to go by where
Sure,
you
sure,
do this
sure.
over a long period of time.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying when you sit down in yourself and you're just like, all right, you remember your whole life
Yeah,
and the trajectory and
sure.
what it means to be where you are, and
Yeah,
then to be having the success you're having.
yeah.
Are you? What's your mindset on that? Do you try not to visit it too
Oh,
much?
okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I visited a lot. I think depending on like your personality traits, like certain people, like you seem to be the same kind of way. Like I visit that all the time. Like who I was before, who I am now, like who I want to be. And yeah, it's nice. Like it was humbling, even like giving me that like the prop with him, because I think early on, like I never really, not like I couldn't envision this happening, but like I'd say it took a lot of maybe like humbling in a sense. Like it was a lot harder early on. Like coming up, growing up, I was good, and then I got my like awkward phase like 7th to 10th grade, and I
Was
was
that
just
from the
like,
growth spurt?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like 5'8" with a size like 15 shoe my freshman year, so I was like a
So you
goober.
knew it was coming though.
Yeah, like I was good beforehand. I was
When
always
your
like,
dogs are that big though,
yeah,
when the feet
exactly,
of the
yeah,
boats are that big,
yeah,
then
yeah,
you know you're gonna get taller.
yeah. And like I was good growing up. I was like always just like a man child
Right.
amongst like a bunch of smaller people,
Yeah.
so it ended up like working out in that regard. But then like, yeah, I'd say everything was pretty much primed up for me. Like the minor leagues was awesome. I never really struggled too much.
No, you weren't like, given what you're doing right now, you weren't a first rounder, were you?
No, no, no. I was like, what? So my junior year, I was like 83, 86, and I committed to University of Portland, like really, really early. I was like,
Wow.
fucking D1 school. Like I'm gonna go ahead and like sign the papers. So it was that. In my senior year, I had like a pretty good velo spike. I got up to like 90, 90,
Mhm.
whatever, and I was like more pro teams were looking at me.
Mhm.
And
So you went right out of high school.
yeah, yeah. So I think if I had committed to like about, I don't know, UCLA or like Cal, I probably would have
100%.
gone to college because I really wanted to have that
And
experience.
then you would have been a top 5 pick because you got a ton of velocity in those next like 2,
Hmm.
3 years, didn't you?
Yeah, my first year of pro ball, I was like pretty wild, but I ended up going what 2011 draft, 2013, no 2012. I hit like 98, so I was like 91 in high school, and then I got to like 98 right out
Yeah.
of it. So
That would have been happening in college.
yeah, I think so. I also too though, I don't know if everything would like. I
Yeah.
think it would have worked out, but like I'm happy with the path I chose, like
Yeah,
for sure. It
absolutely.
was like
Should be.
yeah, the pro ball path was cool. I was with the Pirates for a while, and it was like a really good development and like a lot of good people early on. And so I think if I were to go somewhere else, I don't know
When
how would have.
when you said humbling before, you referencing just the pro ball journey, like when you said some things were humbling along the way.
Yeah,
Um, what was your pro ball experience coming up? Were you enjoying it? Because it's a you know
yeah,
it's I think we've talked about it a handful on this show, but it's a fucking grind.
yeah,
It's a really a grind.
no doubt. I always had a lot of success in the early minor leagues, so I think that's what always kept me very like in it. And I've always worked really hard, and I've always known like my goal was to be a professional, like a big league pitcher and a
Yeah.
good one at that. But it was yeah really stressful. I didn't have like I don't think I was like not like well equipped, but it's like stressful times during that time. And like I think you was so like at it when you're a young kid and you're thrown into pro ball and your whole life is pro ball. You don't have an identity yet. I was like 17 when I got out of high school, and then like just going through the minor leagues or whatever is like from 18 to 22. And I just like I associated myself in my like personality was very much like only baseball. So I didn't have like an identity other than that. So when baseball was going well, I was going well. Like I was everything was great. It was like cookies and rainbows and everything was
Mhm.
like the sunset. Everything looked magical.
Let's
And
go
then
catch the
yeah,
sunset.
like you guys, why are you all so sad? Like it's and then when I started to struggle, it was very much like this was kind of some dark days and like relatively speaking, like I didn't know how dark it, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
but in my brain, it was very like it was hard to handle. And I think like going through the ups and downs helped me know how like learn to navigate them.
You become a man
Yeah,
too.
for sure. But it was definitely like in I don't know. It was I think from 2011 to 2015, 16. Like if you look like statistically, I never had a bad. See, I think the highest ERA I had was like a 2.4 or something.
Mhm.
Like I always shoved, but like I was not ready for the big leagues at all. Like I had never faced adversity in that type of like environment. And then I got thrown into it in 2016, and I remember like getting called to go to the big leagues in 16, just being like,
You didn't feel ready.
no. Like, I think I convinced myself in the moment. I convinced myself in that, like, you know, you worked your ass off, like, you're ready for this. Stuff wise, I was ready for it. My chickens were out of their coop, though.
So
I
you knew
wasn't,
that.
oh, yeah, I knew it for sure. Like, I think, like, not then. If you had asked me then, I'd been like, yeah, I'm good to go. Like, I think I knew it subconsciously, but like, I couldn't really admit it to myself fully.
Interesting.
And then I got to the big leagues in 16, had a decent debut. I was in the bathroom before, like, if there's a God, like, someone help me
Anyone out there?
yeah, like, please, someone help. And like, I ended up doing decent in my debut, but like, it was just I struggled early, and then 17 I struggled like crazy. I had like a crazy 7 ERA.
You were in Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was tough. Like I struggled heavy, and then
What what do you think when you think back, especially being removed now and you're in a great headspace? What do you think about what do you think was going on when you say like I couldn't get my mentals correct? Like was there something going on in your life actually, or was it more so just like you not understanding how to like process, life and what's happening and like your perspective?
I think it was always like I'm very like perfectionist by nature, and I always remember like the mentality was very much like I'm doing well here. But I would always have like really good starts, really bad starts, really good starts, really bad starts. And it was all because like I needed to chase perfection. Like I didn't know how to do well without feeling good. So, and as an athlete, like you're not going to have it every day.
Right.
So I was very like OCD, anxiety, crazy. Like I was
I would
very
just
much
being with you the last few hours, I would have never guessed
I
that.
yeah, I think like a lot of things have changed. I'm still very much the same person, but like like if you talk to any of my teammates, I'd be the dude in the grocery store at like 1 in the morning coming off a road trip, and I'm fucking sitting in the frozen food section doing mechanics and like a lot of shit. Like that stress seeped into my like normal life. It seeped into my like anything I did, I had to make it like feel perfect. I was like,
Wow.
yeah, it got like pretty crazy with anxiety, and I just put a lot of pressure on myself. I was supposed to be like, I was like an 8th overall prospect in the game, and I was supposed to come up and do all these things. But the biggest thing was like I just didn't have an identity outside of baseball. So it was like my whole personality and me, I was just wrapped up into
But what's
baseball.
interesting about that though is like, did you have those thoughts then? When you were in it, did you know that then?
No, I didn't even know how to net. I just think it was like I knew that I experienced like my goods were good, my bads were bad, but everyone does. But I
Right.
just seemed to, I was like, I guess I might just take it a little harder than most, and like it was, I don't
So you
know.
just wouldn't be able to enjoy like everyday regular life if
Yeah,
you were
no way.
struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just kind of like
I
turn
mean, dude,
off
that's
and
very, very normal though.
yeah, yeah, no
You know?
doubt, no doubt. And like
But the game you're playing,
I think it just stands. It's microscoped. Like I think
yeah.
you're on like that stage, and then once you attach
Well,
expectations to it,
everyone's in their everyone's really has a microscope on their lives, all
yeah,
the time.
100%.
That's all they're ever doing.
Yeah,
Analyzing what the fuck's happening and judging it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that is true.
And like really that was a big part of my breakthrough in happiness.
Yeah,
Cause I would, dude, translated right to fucking the same way I was the same way in baseball.
yeah,
I was my all American year. But like what I will say is when I was injured, I f- I faked being okay with it and being optimistic so
yeah.
much that I kind of just became a little optimistic.
Really,
A
that's
little
kind
bit
of yeah.
because like I wasn't no one ever saw it came from an ego place though of like no one sees me down. I
Sure.
never had
Yeah.
hardships ever
Okay.
in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up very humble, but like had everything I ever wanted from my parents,
Yeah.
best family.
Yeah.
Everything went my way sports wise, went to where I wanted to go, was an all-American freshman year, sophomore year, first hardship, elbow starts.
Yeah.
And dude, it was like, you know, now that I look at it, I'm super proud of how I handled it.
Mhm.
But I remember the first time, that was the first time I ever realized that I had days when I literally I woke my eyes open and I just wanted to close them again.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to go outside,
For sure.
you know?
I
And
think
that
yeah.
that was brand new for me.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that I was like, wow, I just really thought to myself, like, let's just go back to sleep so I don't have to go do rehab and like
Yeah.
life for the first time was like, it's not fun and games,
100%.
like it's not gonna go your way.
Yeah.
And again, I really did fake Steve. I really did fake my like the optimism out of a egoic place of like, no one's gonna see me down, like, and I did have a confidence that I was gonna
Sure.
come back.
Would you say like did it accept it like it started to become genuine after like after
Yeah, I really do think because of my parents, I would see them too, and they'd be so sad for me, and like, cause like especially after like year
yeah.
two, cause I
They're your
told you I had
baby
a,
boy,
I had
dude.
a
Yeah.
fucked up like my surgery and like how I told
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
I missed sophomore year resting it,
Mhm.
and then right after the rest, it popped anyway. So then I had to I really ended up missing 2.5 seasons in a
Yeah, that's
row.
tough.
So I like balled out, like exceeded everyone's expectations. Wasn't super highly touted,
Mhm.
just really balled out, and then was out for fucking 30 months.
Yeah, that's
And
tough.
like my parents were just like,
Your identity's all caught up in baseball too. Like you
Totally,
want to go play baseball. You
totally.
want and like yeah, your
Yeah, and
whole
like, dude, what I'm saying, why I asked you is like, if you had that thought then, like, if you had the awareness then that like, hey, like my whole life revolves around baseball, this isn't right. Because I know 40-year-old athletes that still don't get that.
no, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna throw them out there, but like a few
No,
in
I know what you're saying.
but like they never got to that place, or they got to it way older when they were forced. That's why so many athletes have trouble stepping down from
Yeah,
grace. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Because
Like
you have nothing else that's like taking
the
you anywhere
guys who
else. Like
really, really lived and breathed and died by it, like for the most part, have a tough time
yeah,
at some point in your career. And I wanted to get to this with you. You know, you get there and then like you're becoming a man on the field.
yeah,
Like these are the years you become a man,
yeah,
and like you're like, all right, like you start thinking about life and like you're on a
yeah.
fucking rock spinning through space and like playing a game every
No
day. And
doubt.
you're like,
No,
wait,
yeah.
is this really what
Mhm.
life is about? Like,
Mhm.
do I live because I could throw a ball fast? Is this really what my whole existence is about? You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what struggling did for me. Or like coming out of the other side of a struggle, like I started to realize like all those things. There was so much more to life. And like
yes.
I was just caught up in my little bubble. And so when like something was bad in my bubble, it was nowhere to escape. I was just like in this bad little environment. And I think what took me over the edge, though, what helped me finally succeed was struggling, like crazy struggles in 2016, 17, relatively speaking. Like everyone's stress is relative. I think obviously it's very real stress. Like not doing well in the big leagues
Yeah.
is like overwhelming and stuff.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
often people going through much worse
I
situations.
mean,
And
here's what I'm saying though. I talk about sports fans and their outlooks to athletes, but like, yes, it's a champagne problem,
hmm
right? I call
hmm
them champagne
hmm
problems. Like, oh,
yeah,
you're not hitting. Like from the fan who's watching and like they're the guys yelling from the rafters, like,
hmm
oh wow, wow, like you're not hitting, you're sad. Like, go to fucking work. You know, we
exactly.
pay you
Yeah,
10
yeah.
million, right?
My stress is the same as that guy's stress.
In your
Yeah,
world,
100%. It's relative for sure.
dude, let me tell you why it's
Yeah,
almost makes more sense for you to be more sad about this. This guy is probably in the stands, is probably doing a job that he just has to do.
yeah,
Wasn't his lifelong passion.
yeah,
You have been working from the fucking minute your dick could get hard. You
yeah,
were
yeah,
7 years
yeah.
old
Yeah, that's all I thought about.
playing baseball,
Yeah,
right? From that to being a fucking 27-year-old in the big leagues, right?
yeah,
Your entire existence has arced to this.
yes, for sure.
Everything that you've ever done in your mind
hmm
and your whole life has existed around this game and then you performing when you get your chance.
Yeah,
So the athletes in their universe, like, this is why I try to tell sports fans, like, think about it. Like,
100%.
everyone has their own universe and their own world going
Yeah,
on. So for y'all have invested so much. The pressures, yeah, it's not life or death. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna die if you don't get a hit.
yeah,
Like, there's some people that are dealing with way bigger problems,
100%.
right?
Yeah,
But in your space,
yeah,
from your perspective,
yeah,
this is the end all be all. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, I've
Yeah,
worked my whole fucking life for this.
yeah,
If I ball out this year, my family's good for life.
yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, that guy, if he gets fired from his job, like, chances are, like, you're not gonna get another chance at having generational wealth and like being able to
yeah,
provide for your loved
yeah,
ones
yeah,
forever. Like,
yeah,
you guys have that opportunity,
yeah.
and it's also added pressure.
hmm
Think about if every person, anyone listening, if you have the chance to play, do something athletic, and have your whole family's next 20 years
Exactly.
riding on your
Yeah,
back
yeah,
of your performance.
yeah,
And you think about all the shit they did for you to get here, and it's like this creates this storm of like it's very easy to get caught up as an athlete and like
yeah.
as you were saying, like living and dying by it.
100%. Yeah, and I think too once like you put expectation into it and like you do see whatever generational wealth or whatever, like maybe you can possibly set people up. I think once your goals are that, like maybe the guy who sits there doesn't really like strive for that goal to
Mhm.
where maybe if it doesn't work out, there was never something that you never achieved. And I think like going and setting these goals takes a lot of like, I don't know, it's like you're vulnerable, but like you set it and if you don't make it, it hurts a lot. And so
Yes.
I think you're setting yourself up for that. And like as I was struggling for whatever 2 years it was like around there, it was just like you start to kind of maybe this isn't going to work out, and like it's not like you ever quit on it, but it's like okay, I now need to understand that like maybe there's
Wow.
something else I need to do, like not like I need to go and get another job or anything like that, but
Right.
like you start to have like your brain
That's interesting though.
has to figure out another like you have to open up your mind to new
Starts to
possibilities.
knock down some of the walls you've had in your mind.
100%, like you're
About
just
like, hey, this is
linear.
what I'm gonna be, baseball
Exactly.
player.
100%.
And then you start thinking about maybe taking some of the fucking shingles off and looking
Yeah.
out, seeing what else is out there.
100%. And I think, but that's the thing. No matter what, like whether you get there from stress or you get there from success or you just get there randomly, like
Right.
everyone, I think every athlete needs to realize, like you need it. Like if you have your jars and you have 5 of them, and like here's baseball, here's your personal life, here's your relationships, here's whatever
Right, right,
important
right.
shit is. Like I took all of my marbles and threw them into the baseball one. And I think what struggling did was it really helped me understand, like I have all these things, and like if I take all my marbles and put it into this one, like my relationships will struggle, and they did. And like maybe I'm not as good of a son or whatever. Like
Yeah.
my family, I don't have like, you know what I mean? Like I'm lacking in all of like my friends. Like I'm not present around anyone who's important. Like I'm at family dinners, just like "Oh, fuck off. Like I don't want to talk to you. Like so I think it was very much like
Wow.
finding balance to where now my marbles are spread around 5 different things. Like when this is not going so well, I have 4 other things that I can lean on, and like it's just I don't know. And I think too there was a lot of trial and tribulation. There was a lot of time, like a lot of things I had to do in order to understand those things. And like I don't know. It was pretty tough. I'd say like even judging off of the success of like stats, saying like I really lived in like my stats. I was pretty not miserable. Like I was a happy-go-lucky guy, but like from 2011 to like 16, I was not the same person at all. Like I look back at it being like there was like depression, some anxiety, like a lot of stuff. I look back and it's just completely different. And
Wow.
yeah, way, way different. Like it was,
So when you were going through it, and when you talk about depression and anxiety and shit, were you like I guess identifying with it? You're like, oh, I'm depressed. Were you having those thoughts? Or
and like when it got pretty bad, I knew, like, for sure. But I
yeah,
think too much of it, like, it was something so important for me to go through because I even understood, like, and that's not rock bottom. Like, I think it was my relative rock bottom, but
yeah,
to know I'm like, I'm still getting through this shit, but like,
right.
this sucked. In the moment, it was like my life's over. Like, I'm having like breakdowns
Oh,
and
incredible.
fucking yeah, like not
So now
shit's
you
not going
credit
well.
that time period for where you are now.
1,000,000%. If I didn't go through that, I don't think I would be anywhere like where I am now. I don't know, like I don't know how all that would work, but
Right.
like now when times get bad for me, I'm just like, "It's not that bad." Like, you remember that shit? You remember, like, the days you slept until 2 p.m. and, like,
Yeah.
just didn't wanna do anything and, like, didn't talk to anybody and sat in your room and, like yeah, so it's good. It's a scale, it's relative. Like, I can look back and know things have changed and, like, there was
Now,
yeah.
how incredible the amount of change and how fast it's happened, bro.
I mean, what, 2011 to 16 of, like and 17, 18 it's been, like, I guess it's I don't know, relatively long and
Yeah.
fast. Like,
To
there's
you, it doesn't feel bad.
yeah,
But I'm saying to feel like that,
yeah.
and then you zoom out, like, was that 2016? Or what was
20
your worst?
Oh, no, it was 11 to 18 probably. It was I mean, it was 17 was my worst year by far.
And that was
17,
where your feelings and your emotions were at the worst?
yeah, by
So,
far.
yeah, I mean, dude, that's 4 years ago. Now you're
Yeah, it's true, for sure. I think it was a slow burn, like, I had to, like it was a lot like, from 11 to 17, it was like I think after a while, your brain has to figure out a certain way to get over it, like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, if when it takes that long, it's like, "Okay, dude,
yeah,
you've been like, a sad little bitch for way too long, like, you
right.
need to figure this out."
Did you have hardships growing up?
No, and I think that's why I wasn't primed for it. Like, I had, like, a
Yeah,
very structured lifestyle, and, like, I have an amazing family who loves me, I'm very close with everyone, like
same, yeah.
and it was, like, not poor, not, like, super rich, but, like, I got things and, like, you know what I
It's
mean?
definitely a real thing though, man.
100%, and I
Yeah.
never had to go through a grind.
You really do not become who you're supposed to be
Yeah.
on this earth until you struggle.
That's what I literally was about to ask you. I was like, "This would be good podcast stuff," and I wanted to be like the first time you already answered it, but, like
Yeah, that
'cause
was,
yeah, the
that was
first
the
time
first
when you
time
struggled.
when I got injured, I just
Yeah,
had never had anything go wrong,
yeah,
ever.
yeah, and you're just like, "That's supposed to happen.
I mean,
Like, what the fuck's
yeah,
going on?"
yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, now, like, and then my second one, like, the only time I've ever had a relationship. Like, I've only had one relationship. I'm 30. You know what I
Me
mean?
too.
Like, and like that, that was like, there was the sports, like, that was tangible.
Mhm.
Like, that was my tangible, like, first hardship. Like, oh, we can't play anymore. Like, the game he loves. Makes
Yeah,
sense, right?
yeah,
And then this was my first, like, emotional,
yeah,
like, as much as baseball was emotional, like I said, I kinda just faked it and, like,
sure.
I'm cool,
It's a
like,
whole
I'm gonna be
'nother
good, you
yeah.
know? And dude, I wouldn't be here if I didn't fake it.
Mhm.
Because Mike Stud, the song that I made, College Humor, I made that while I was hurt.
Yeah.
So, you think if you're pouting in your room, you can get up, fuck around, and make a rap song that goes viral?
Yeah.
No.
No, exactly.
Would've never happened. I would've been
Yeah.
like, "I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Fuck."
true,
I was
exactly.
just like, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but
I coulda used that though. Like, it's very true, like, however you carry yourself, like, your body will at some point, like, if you feel all slouched and sad, like, they'll tell you, like, "Sit up, fake it till you make it." Like, you can do it, and I
yeah, I
just
mean,
never hit that
are
wavelength.
you, we talked a bunch out there, we'll rehash and shit, but like, you seem to be tapped in a higher frequency than a lot of the guys I talk to, but like, are you on, I mean, going what you've gone through and what you just told me, like, how much now are you on the power of the mind and like understanding that logic? Are you in that space yet? Are you thinking like that? Like, as far as working on manifestation and shit like that?
I don't know, like
You gotta start.
no, I don't as far as, like I guess I probably interpret it in, like, my own way. I think so much of
No,
it
but
yeah,
I just know from our conversation, like, you're
sure.
so ready for it.
Yeah. I'd say, like, I don't know, I guess it'd be a good time to, like
Let me put you on. I'm gonna put you on some shit. This is what I do. I always,
No, yeah, I don't know. I
yeah,
meant, like, what we talked about out there.
yeah. Oh, that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I guess it's the same shit. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it is.
what
It,
are you tell me what you're talking
it
about.
is. I'm talking about. So your subconscious programming is like, you know, you talk about. There's all types of programming that happens in your life.
Mhm.
Like even when you said, "Hey, I didn't have a hardship," that programmed you a certain way. Like the
Sure.
way you were raised, what you were
Yeah.
around environmentally. Like from ages 1 through 7 are your most formative years as
Sure.
a human brain.
Yeah.
So you're around loving parents. They they nourish you, you know, all these that's I really believe like the power of parenthood is really
Yeah.
incredible, you
Yeah.
know? But like you get formed, there's a lot of things that are formed through your childhood that are like kind of just nature. It's nature. You don't
100%.
pick your parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things in your entire life, everything you've ever watched, listened to, looked at, thought about,
Yeah.
they all become like data
Mhm.
that think about the human mind is like average like 50,000 thoughts a day. So all these thoughts, like people get so attached to their thoughts. I'm depressed. Oh my God, why do I keep thinking about
Okay,
this?
yeah.
I'm sad, you know? But not understanding that they're not their thoughts.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're not your thoughts. You're
Hun
like watching your thoughts. You know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like these 50,000 thoughts, how many of them do you really act on?
100 dude, yeah.
100 or 200?
Yeah.
You don't identify with the thoughts. But when I started studying the brain a ton, I just got super into it because I was first time my brain was fucked up was from like that breakup. I was just
Sure.
like, I don't even feel like
You're just not
I had
yourself.
no passion for like
Yeah.
anything for a
Yeah.
while, and I was, you know, it was
Colors
just
are gray.
yeah, I was just
Food
like,
tastes like ass.
and I was also aware that like my life was going incredibly well,
Yeah.
you know, on paper, and like if you told me I was going to be here 5 years ago, I'd be like, what the hell am I sad about, you
Sure.
know?
Sure.
But that all happened, and then I got into the brain and the subconscious. And I got into this. This is why I'm going down this path with you. It's just like a lot of the shit, the content I started taking. I changed my input, bro.
Mhm.
I was following Instagram models and this shit and all this fucking stupid shit, like culture shit, caring about what on the internet,
Yeah.
caring about
Yeah.
what people are saying and what's happening.
Uh-huh.
And bro, like I started like focusing on positivity, you know, like literally, what are things that some of these really enlightened people, what do they tell you to do?
Mhm.
How do I get connected, you know, to life at a higher level? Like, because I knew I could feel that I wasn't connected. Like
Yeah.
you were when you said something struck a chord, it's just like being at family dinners and like not even being there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Your problems are more important than, like, the people that are
oh my
important
God, but
because
like
yeah.
that's the worst thing you could do in life is not
Yeah.
be present, man. You know?
Yeah.
And I was doing that a ton.
Yeah.
And it was almost like my intuition was like, yeah, you got to learn about this shit because I
Mhm.
really wanted to learn about it. And
I got thrown into that for sure. I guess, like, in terms like the manifestation, like, I 100% as far as what you were saying with, like, you're not your thoughts, like, I have a my uncle was, he'd been, like, sober for, like, whatever, 35 years, and what helped him was, like, meditation, and him and me are very similar.
do you meditate?
Yeah, like, pretty frequently, and
Love it.
that's what something, like yeah, that helped me a lot, and I think the style of meditation that I do is, like, he
What do
turned
you
me
do?
on to it was you literally it's like observational meditation. I did, like, transcendental for a little bit, but that's
That's
just,
what
like,
I do.
mantra
Hmm.
meditation. I kinda jump around, but I think my favorite, the like, what I get I don't know, not the most out of because that's not really you know what I mean,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
like, it's, like, observational. I just sit there and, like, watch my thoughts, and I think that's when you start to really realize, like, 95% of the shit I think about, I'm not thinking about. Like,
Right.
it just comes it's in my brain just spitting this stuff out, and like, you just get to sit back
But
and
have you
watch it.
thought about what those things are and why they are the way they are?
Not
Everyone
re
has that same thing going on, just totally different versions of it. But everyone
Yeah.
has these scattered thoughts all the time.
I'm sure it has to do with a lot of, what is, like, the
Well,
science
it's
say?
just everything you've ever like what I was
Yeah.
talking about input, like
Yeah.
everything you're taking in.
Yeah.
And I learned about the subconscious brain, and like it's crazy, dude. Like the subconscious brain, they say, is in the driver's seat of your day for
Yeah.
about 65% of the day or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So more than your conscious brain.
Yeah.
It's like when you're driving, you're not thinking about it. You're just like
100%.
you
Yeah.
just get there and you're like, oh, I didn't really think about taking one turn. I
Yeah.
was just it's like your subconscious programming, like this
100%.
is what's happening.
Baseball, and I'm sure, like, the music industry has to be the same. Like, when I'm pitching and I'm pitching well, I'm 1,000,000% in my subconscious. The second I try to
Flow
bottle up what
state.
I'm doing, flow state. If I try to go, okay, why was that pitch good? It's because I was sitting on my back foot and I had a lot of, like, my weight was here, the degree, and my front side was here. You're fucked. The second you start
Think
to,
about
like,
it. You were
think
doing that
about
in
it,
the
yeah.
grocery store.
Dude, I'm sitting there and, like, you tell you consciously, your conscious mind is, like, conditioned to be like, I can help you here. Like, we're gonna step by step go through this, but it's
Absolutely.
really not. Like, there's a delay in which you think about things. Like, if you're in the flow state, like, and you try to think about step by step, there's a delay, there's a disconnect, and
Mhm.
you're late. This is late. This is here. This is here. So when I start to think, and that was my biggest problem when I was bad, I never really understood that, like, I don't need to be in control of everything.
Yeah.
Like, the second
You've
you
done the
let go of
legwork.
that,
You've
yeah,
worked your whole life. Now
exactly.
just be
Just
you.
forget about it. And, like,
Yeah.
if you put too much pressure on yourself, you automatically go into that conscious mindset though, because you're in fight or flight, and you're like, okay, I have to figure this
I
out.
think that can apply to anyone's life, not just
1,000,000%.
athletics.
I think
Really.
it probably applies to your life more than it applies to mine.
But like really, like I really think it applies to life in general. Now let me explain. Like even if you're, doing a job you don't love, I think a lot of people are in that position,
Yeah,
like it's not
yeah,
their passion,
yeah.
right? My whole point is like you're actually conserving energy by like doing the work, getting in a flow state and not trying, right? You're
Yes.
conserving energy, but also like opening up space for like, hey, like at some point a hobby will present itself that really like you becomes a passion, something you could do on the side. You have more energy for this. You have more energy to be personally there for your personal
100%.
relationships. If you're in flow state at your job, even though it's not exactly what you want to do, you get yourself there and then you start having better relationships in the office.
Mhm.
Maybe you get a raise. You know what I mean? Like all these things that I try to like present to people is just like if you get out of, like the monkey mind of like all the
Yes.
thoughts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You just rise above it. So what I was saying I need to get you on is just like every day when I wake up, you meditate. That's
Mhm.
that's a great start. I do a gratitude journal. So and there's like tons of data behind this, like
Yeah.
actual
Yeah, yeah,
data
yeah.
from like Harvard studies.
Yeah.
Like,
Our mental conditioning coach with the Rays, shout out Justin Sua. He's big on this stuff. He's
yeah,
big on like
like
journaling too.
really. And I've been putting my fans on it for a minute. And like, so every day, like my fan mail is turned from like tits and ass to like, yo, bro, thank you
Yeah.
for putting me on this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But like, I wish someone told me when I was 20, like,
But do you
so
think you'd even be ready for it? If somebody told you at 20 to start journaling, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you
no,
talking? You 20?"
but
You're
what I
like,
will say is if I was a big Tyler Glasnow fan, I was a baseball player,
"No, yeah, I know, yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah."
like, yo, they're watching you say this shit.
100%,
Like, that's why
100%.
this is
That's
important.
why I feel like we do these things.
This is
This
an
is why
important
yeah.
conversation. This is
I
why
needed this when I was going through it. I would always look up like
ex
interviews with people or like something like I need something to like any I don't know, like some sort of real like I want somebody who's good to understand like tell me they struggled. I always felt I'm like this is
oh my
not
God.
this
I
is something only I'm going through. Like I always felt like alone in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I think
Yeah.
everyone feels like that a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it really is the best part of this whole thing,
Yeah.
really. Like, because there's just so much positivity that can come from just like, if you gotta change your lens. And this is what I'm getting at with you is like, what's happened, and like
Mhm.
you've definitely made this transformation where like you're realizing that you don't live and die by your last outing,
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I literally wake up, I write down 10 things I'm thankful for every day.
That's cool.
And then I meditate on it, you know what I mean? And then I usually, before I pick up my phone, I try to read 2, 3 chapters of, and like what you just said, I got so attached to this lane of spiritual, like it opened my eyes. I felt so refreshed because I
Yeah.
wasn't living like that. I'd had none of this in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had these guys, like I'd read these books. Like I read this one book, Seven Laws of Spiritual Success. I literally like started crying when I was reading it. Like
Yeah.
it was just like explaining exactly what I knew. Someone was articulating what I knew I
Yeah.
needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like
And you were like, "You get it."
that's what
Like,
you can
yeah.
do for somebody by
Sure.
just being like, hey, yeah, this,
Yeah.
sharing the actual truth.
Yeah, 100%. That's why
Um,
too it's easy in sense of like I think it's more widespread now because like I'm not about to sit down, I can't like write a book. I'm not gonna like maybe I can, it's probably not gonna be very good. You know what I mean? Like I like
with
in
that
long
attitude.
form yeah, exactly. I need to fucking then like but I can go on a podcast and express myself. Like I'm very much more like a word. That's
But you
how
realize
I
a lot of guys
express.
write books like that. They just sit and
It's
talk.
true. I get like a dude just all
Sit and
bullshit
talk, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they'll circle
But I
the
think too
wagons.
though, like I think like long form is making its comeback and people love books, but like to reach a younger generation, like this,
Yeah.
like this is the perfect way.
Yeah.
In my, like honestly, one of the only ways to do it now.
Right.
Because like I don't think many kids are gonna go pick up a book. Like I'm probably one of those kids. Like I'll listen to an Audible. Like I read a pretty decent amount, but like
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
put
be
you
on
on
that
some books,
wavelength.
and
Do it.
you
Send me
gotta
whatever.
promise you gotta
I
at least listen
100%
to them.
will. I'll
Yeah.
audiobook them for sure.
Yeah, listen to
We have
them.
so much travel. It's like all I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's important, and it's an important stance for I think any athletes that understand that this like you said something out there that was really interesting. Just like you had a perspective switch,
Hmm.
something that had nothing to do with baseball,
Yeah.
and like off the field had a perspective switch,
Yeah.
and it unlocked the greatness or
Yeah.
your actual path that you're on now. Where
Hmm.
that was how you got over the hump. You know what I mean? And for anyone listening, like really, it's really an internal battle. Like
Yeah.
you get over that hill in your mind, you get on the top of the hill, you have a different view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You literally get over, you have to work up the hill
Yeah.
to get there and then see like, you know what? Like you have that perspective switch.
Yeah.
Where then the thing you really care most about
Yeah.
it starts becoming effortless.
Yeah.
You're not fucking overanalyzing
Exactly.
every step.
It's not your only like means of happiness. Like
Right.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, now in your life, you know, there's been a like obviously you've dug yourself out of where you were, you're having amazing success. Are there things now like on your day to day, what's your actual like recipe for success on the off the field side? Like we talked about it, you mentioned like being connected with nature and like
Mhm.
liking to go outside and do shit.
Yeah.
Um, what is it, what are you feeling like on off the diamond, things that are like actually adding to what's happening on the diamond?
I'm extremely like routine oriented, and I
Mm,
think that's I'm a product of because baseball, like you have to be routine oriented.
mhm,
There's so many things out of your control that you got to find the things you can control. So
mhm.
very much for me, I'm like very very routine. Like as far as
I'm saying more so just like off the field, what do you think has become the biggest, like the biggest is it just the fact that your outlook is just better? You know what I mean? Like
yeah
why is what's happening on the field happening? You know what I mean?
yeah I'd say it'd be like this is gonna be a long winded answer.
Yeah.
I would say the number one thing for me, I think with the struggles with everything, what helped me really like come into my own and like understand and put my stresses into perspective was psilocybin, 100%. Like a
Mm.
million percent. And I need to like preface it because there's still like some stigmas and a lot of weird
You're
views
talking to
with
a
it.
psilocybin guy.
And
So
yeah, like and and especially being an athlete, like it's very much taboo.
yeah.
But in 2014, I was in the fall league and I was like really going through it. This is like, and it was
Mhm.
like my anxiety was
You're
really
right in the
bad.
middle of the whole just
Yeah, just not fun times at all. And I was like, I had the best year of my life. I was like, in terms of stats wise, like I had minor league pitcher of
Oh,
the
really?
year. I was dominant. I was nasty. And I like,
So why
something was just wrong. And
that's how I felt.
it was
Same
just
thing.
wrong. Like
Yeah.
something, I didn't, like something was missing and I don't know what it was. And like, I did the whole, like clinical, like I was always in search of something different. I was always like, I know this is not the end all be all. Like something is not right with me. So I went and like did the whole normal clinical thing, like went and saw a doctor. They gave me Prozac in 2014.
The
Like
worst.
I know, and I was on it, and like I remember after a while just being like, all right, like this is very much like treating my symptoms and not even treating it very well.
Right.
And like comes with all these like side effects. And I was very much like, I'm a dude too, like whether it's ego or not, I was like, I don't need fucking medication. Like I had a really big problem with that. And not like it's bad. I think Prozac helps a lot
But
of
I think
people.
that's your gut instinct being
Yeah,
right.
100%. And like so I was like, "All right, I'm done. I'm not taking this anymore. Like all these side effects, like it's blah blah blah."
Did it just make you like
It
foggy
didn't do
or
anything for me. Like it literally
really?
did nothing. And I think like it didn't. I don't even know if I took it long enough to work. I only took it for like 4 or 5 weeks, and I
Mm.
remember just being like, I can't do this anymore. Like I don't want to take this.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to need something,
Right.
and I
Smart.
can figure this out. Like and it was just I don't know. It was like a weird time, and then I was just always in search of something, and I did like a lot of research. I was very much like Michael Pollan How to Change Your Mind, like so many like Joe Rogan podcasts, like is you know what I mean, like anything I could get my hands on, like Tim
Same shit.
Ferriss,
Same shit happened to me.
yeah, like Terrence McKenna, his old stuff, and like his
Yeah.
brother, and like it was because I'm gonna go into something. Like, I was still weary, like I don't want to
I'm
do
the same way.
something, yeah.
Yeah. Gotta
So I did
understand
all
it.
my research, and I was like, this is something I really want to try. I really want to do it, and I did it for the first time in 2017, and I did like it was like and like I'm not here to tell people how to live their life. Like you can go at it with like a recreational standpoint, do whatever you want. But like for me, I go into it like doing it with more of like getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Like you can have fun, do whatever you want, but like if I'm doing it, I want to go into it trying to get
I'm
something
the
out
same
of it.
fucking way.
So I went into
My
it
boys
like
give me shit for that. I'm the same
I
way.
think that's really for me, like because I'm not really trying to just go in there to have fun. Like you do
Yeah.
other things to have fun. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to do this because I'm fucked up. Like,
Mhm.
and I did in 2017, and it was like at the All-Star break, and it changed like that was what changed my perspective. Not day to day, like it wasn't like I woke up the next day everything was fixed, but it opened my mind up to like I've been on this one track mind for so long, and like I'm missing out on so many different things in life, and
Right.
it just gave me perspective. And like I would, and it was I don't know, it was just I don't do it often, and I'd say I haven't done it in a long time, but it's very much like a therapeutic kind of
Yeah.
ceremonial type
Well,
thing.
even if it just happened when it happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? For you to
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm really fucking happy you're sharing that because,
Yeah.
dude, we had this conversation out there, and I said it without even knowing anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I guarantee you, in 3 to 5 years, every athlete will be microdosing
I think
psilocybin.
it'll be a lot bigger.
They're gonna be microdosing it fucking everywhere, bro. Like,
Yeah.
people are gonna be on it, and this place, this fucking world,
Mm-hmm.
we're trending towards needing something like that.
I think it would be everyone
Like,
could benefit from
this
it,
shit
for
is
sure.
getting fast tracked way faster than weed. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah. Mhm.
recreational soon. Now, it's not taking a bunch of mushrooms and like, you
Yeah,
know what
it's
I mean?
just
Like,
setting
what
it
you can
going
do
into
if
it.
you abuse anything.
Exactly.
But like a lot of the MMA guys are in it. That's a huge flow state sport.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can't think at all when you're in
Mhm.
there, you know? Creating music, any artist,
Yeah.
tech.
Yeah.
Tech guys go
Yeah.
out to the middle of the desert
Yeah.
with all their fucking best employees, go on retreats, drop acid, do psilocybin, anything, you know, psychedelic where, you know, and mainly it's a microdose.
Yeah.
But you can have, I
Yeah.
mean, this is the age of the internet and podcasts. This is a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
But there's transformative experiences.
100%.
And I mean, I had one.
Yeah.
I had one. I went to Joshua Tree. Like, I can count on one hand how many times I've like tripped
Sure.
on psilocybin.
Yeah, yeah.
But I microdose a bunch.
Yeah.
And I just know what it's done to me over a span of time where I'm just like way more aware
Mhm.
and connected
Yeah.
to the moment, you know,
Mhm.
and like no one can tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
Because I've lived both lives.
Exactly.
I feel like I've
That's a
lived
good way
two
to put
lives
it.
almost.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, this is brand new in my life, but you know, guys like Joe Rogan were a huge part of it because when I watch Joe Rogan, I'm like, this guy, I
Yeah.
like this guy's outlook a lot.
Normalized it in a sense.
Normalized
Yeah.
it, like and he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, coming from the background I came from, like all that, you know, and how we've been programmed to think about those things,
Mhm.
I really think in some time, bro, like it could be as fast as like 5 years, like the whole world will be aware of like, I
Yeah.
think this is a really special thing.
I think in athletics a lot too. There's so many people doing it that just aren't willing to talk about it.
And a
like
lot of
even
people
yeah.
abuse it. You
It's
know what
true.
I
I
mean?
just don't. It's weird though, because like, it doesn't seem like one of those things. Like anyone can abuse anything.
right.
It's not one of those things that like you'd probably.
It's not like an addictive thing.
No way.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be like just a bad news for a lot of people. But I don't know. I just think the only way I can characterize it and what helped me with it is it very much like it just separated me from my ego, like my conditioning and the way I thought my whole life. Like you get very pattern recognition. The best analogy I've heard is like your mind is a ski slope. I think it's like a McKenna thing.
Yeah.
And you just like you create these grooves, and even now you can tell like you something pops into your mind and you think about it and you process it. This like you have your train of thought, and it completely separated me from my ego to where I was like an observer on my life. I was very much like looking at things
Bingo.
unfolding, and I was like, okay, weird. And then it would like I'd have like a baseball thought, and I would be like, dude, like I would look at it like you were thinking about this all wrong. Like all of your anxiety is fake. It was like your little
An
kid,
illusion.
your 8-year-old brain, your primal monkey brain telling you this is more important than it really is. And like, it was just, it separated it. And it, like I talked about earlier, like it gave me marbles to put into my 5 important jars. Like it wasn't just about baseball anymore. It was
It's so
like, dude,
important,
you
man.
idiot. Like you've been sitting here stressing out about baseball when like, you have like an amazing family, you have like a really good relationship, you have like all these things going on, and like you're too stupid to like, you're not stupid, but you're sitting
Yeah.
there like worrying about like the most ridiculous
I
thing.
had these
like,
same realizations.
it's
man.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
it helps me a lot. And I think I'm not afraid to talk about it. Like it's a little weary because I'm an athlete, but it's like,
Right.
it has changed my life in
Mhm.
a sense. A lot of like that accompanied with all
Right.
the things we just talked about.
Right.
But I'm not like in debt to it, but like I feel like it would help so many people.
Yeah.
And like especially in baseball.
Well, there's tons of literature on this, bro. I
100%.
mean, it sounds like you did a lot of research
Yeah.
too, but like this has been something that's been kind of buried by the mainstream like,
Yeah,
society.
it's coming.
media.
Like you said, it's
It's
getting
coming. There's a
crazy
wave
mainstream
coming,
now.
and
Yeah.
I love that you shared that though. But it's really there's something to take away from that, separate of the actual substance or separate of the actual how
Yeah,
it happened.
Exactly. You can get there other ways. People
Exactly.
get it through meditation. Like
Through what we're talking about though, changing your input to positivity, shit that's gonna help you grow. What are
Mhm.
you taking in?
Mhm.
What do you right before you go to bed and right when you wake up, the most pivotal times of your day?
Mhm.
What are you gonna do to win your day? But just like let's visit some gratitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have a tattoo right here that says say thanks.
Yeah.
And like when I look in the mirror, it says say thanks back, and it just reminds me to be like, say thanks for the day. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
like that a lot.
and dude, like I really never once did that my entire existence.
Yeah.
And I had every lucky break you could get.
Sure.
And I had no gratitude.
Yeah.
So then I just like
I think it's our upbringing in a sense of like you really do like he's like we're very fortunate. Like it was very privileged in
very
a sense.
privileged and
Like I look
fortunate.
back and I'm like, fuck
Even
man, like
just to be born an American.
100 that yeah,
Dude,
100%.
just to be like in a place where like,
Yeah.
you're not impoverished and like
Yeah.
you have opportunities like,
Yeah. I
you
think like a
know,
human needs some sort of like it needs struggle. Like your whole upbringing, like evolution, it was like you struggled to get here. Like your ancestors somehow figured it out and you're here and they went through a bunch of shit. Your mind is like conditioned to freak out about shit.
would life be nearly as fulfilling without struggle? No
No
way,
way.
bro. Let
No.
me tell you, it's like a very, like, obviously one of the most like cliche things, like the rain makes you appreciate the sun.
Mhm.
Like there's
Yeah.
do you know Alan Watts at all?
Yeah, I was gonna yeah.
So just the yin and yang of like everything that's supposed to happen. Like this is where my perspective is gone.
Mhm.
It's just like when it's a bad season, oh, it's my time to be in a bad season. I'm gonna look for what I'm supposed to learn here.
100,000,000%. And that's
Like
what I
I'm
couldn't do
Yeah,
until
and
yeah.
I couldn't either though. Like
Yeah.
this is, like I credit a lot of my growth to psilocybin. I really do.
Yeah.
And I also credit, myself to listening to my intuition. I had that same intuitive feeling something's wrong.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
After, that breakup and like it wasn't even about it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to it wasn't really even
Just
about her.
springs up
It
shit
was
that
more
you
so
gotta
just
yeah.
like I was not a man. Like I was like wasn't leading the right life.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
values were resting on shit that was whack. Like
100%.
and I had that realization. Now, I think there's a lot of people that if they really took inventory of how they're feeling and how they're living, like there's just tons of like really like a ton of things that you could start right now to
Mhm.
start improving your outlook. And like that's kind of what I'm trying to show on this
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
It's just like, look, I live this life. Like I'm wild and party
Exactly.
and do
Yeah. It's
shit,
all
but
about balance. You can
it
do
is.
yeah,
It's a yin
yeah.
and a yang.
Yeah.
Like there's seasons to this shit, and like
100%.
all of them. Think about it, bro. It just makes you like it would really it would start to get dry if you had 10 years straight of no heart, nothing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Sunny days,
100%.
not one. Like it's what makes you, what forms you.
Yeah.
It forms who you are and where you're supposed to be in the
It's like the
world.
facade of money, I think a lot of times, like, too, if you are put in a really like awesome who's I forgot not Warren Buffett. I forgot what it was, but it was like some I don't know, whatever. But it's like you can get enough money to like stress about nothing, but like your mind will find a way to stress about something. If you hire everyone to do everything for you or something, and like at the end of the day, like someone's there to clip your fingernails, and
Oh
one of your
yeah.
fingernails isn't long enough, it's like your brain will find a way to stress. You cannot
Mhm.
get away from struggle. Like if you try to run from it, you're going to be in an awful
It's like
situation.
a, I don't know if I'm butchering this or not, but I'm pretty sure it's like a defense mechanism that naturally happens in our body. That like there's parts of our being that is like looking for like that's how we stay protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we're looking for things to be wrong. All right, let's do this. How do we?
Yes.
That's like kind of how someone was talking about this on like a cellular level,
Hmm.
like our actual how we heal and like what happens like when you get in a cold tub, your blood leaves your limbs and goes to your organs to protect it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
It's
they're
like a
like these are
survival.
the
Yeah,
vital.
yeah.
So they're all like your cells, like part of your being is always outwardly like looking for threats
Yeah.
and how can we protect?
Send white blood
Think
cells or
about
whatever. Like,
animal
yeah,
instincts. Like
yeah,
they don't even think about it.
yeah,
They have these innately in them protection like
yeah, yeah,
mechanisms.
yeah.
And I think that's what happens.
Hundred
I think
percent.
like you said, like it could be all peachy, but
Yeah,
like your body's your especially your mind, if you're not taking control of it,
exactly.
it's always gonna try to look for something.
Yeah,
Always.
every
And
time.
that's just how it is.
100%. And yeah, the more you fight it, the more like I used to because I've always been very like obsessed and very like perfectionist. And I think
Yeah.
that's what makes me a
Do
good
you have
athlete.
that in you still?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
But and like you learn to like that's my personality. That's my family's personality. Like
Right.
my brother, same exact person as me. And you just need to find like that's I like that I'm like that. I
Yeah.
used to hate it,
Mm.
but it helps me with baseball, but you need to find a way to like navigate with it. Like you need to find like it's a blessing if it's a blessing, but if it's a curse, it's a curse. So I used to be like I'm going to optimize and try to be as perfect as I can to find a way to not stress. You know what I mean? It was like
Mhm.
I'm trying to do all these things to where I like because my ultimate like happiness is never having stress. Happiness is just being happy all the time.
Right.
And I would use that to try and like that's not real. I
Right.
think now it's like finding a perfection in like how to live your life with balance. It's
Right.
like doing like I'm going to be a perfectionist and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to be the best baseball player I'm going to be.
Right.
But I need to also find that balance. And I
Right.
think you just putting that energy into something meaningful as opposed to putting it into something that's detrimental. Like
Yeah.
doing mechanics in the frozen food section. Like I'm trying to be perfect, but that's probably not making me any
Yeah.
better. Like it's
Of
probably
course.
making me worse. Like,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, you're at the point now too. I just feel like professional athletes, especially with the amount of work you've done
Hmm.
and just how, I mean, what's another like you have to keep your body and your mind sharper. But
Sure.
like you've done all the like what's another like set of squats gonna do?
It's
You
true.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
It's all, it's
you're
fake
here,
at a
you're
certain point. Yeah.
yeah,
Too much
it's
is
just
too much
about like
sometimes. Yeah.
really that's why I talk to the athletes a ton about the mind and less
Yeah.
about sports because I think that's what separates the greats,
Million
in
percent.
life or in
Million
sports,
percent.
like
Yeah.
it's really the guys because everyone's very talented.
Yeah.
Everyone in the big leagues is extremely talented,
Yeah.
but then who are the guys who are like
Yeah.
really have it figured out?
100%. That's
Get
the
it?
thing, dude. There's some people that are like the most talented players I've ever seen in Double A and Triple A and it's high A, and
Yeah.
but you're just like they can never figure it out
Mm.
because then like I think that was so much of what my fear stemmed from too. Of like I have all the talent in the world and I've always been told that, and I was always been this like big prospect, and I was like, what the fuck? What if I'm that dude?
Yeah.
What if I'm just this fucking
Yeah.
weird biological big human who can't fucking get his chickens in his coop? Like that's not.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest fear, and I just think it was like being upfront with the fear and just being like, that's not real. Fear is whatever you make it. So like, just make the most out of it.
Literally an illusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So that I mean, that happened what, 2018?
That was
2017 was
2017
your was the
All-Star
worst
break.
year?
2017 was my worst year. So I
Yeah.
did it 2017.
And is that why you did the psilocybin? You're
Yeah,
like, I need to
dude,
figure something out.
I had it in my brain for years. Like I wasn't willing to just go in and do it. I had to like fit because I'm like I don't.
You
like,
had to arrive there. Like,
Yeah, I
need
was like, I
this.
need to research this and understand. Like, I tried everything. Like, I went the normal, traditional American clinical route and
Right.
just got prescription. Like,
It's important to share, man.
yeah,
It
and
really
like
is.
I had gone that. So I had like done my research and like I'm out here searching for something, and then I was like, all right, let's try it, and I was like, found it. Like I knew right away. I was like, this.
Did you know right in the moment of
In
it?
the moment, I was like, this. It was like the first time I had felt peace in like probably years, and
How
I just remember
incredible.
being like, and I was with someone who was really, really close to me. So I was like, it was a good set and setting. It was great, and like
Which is important.
100%. And I remember it was that, and it was like this slow transition to where like it was, yes, yeah, and then it kind of like started to get better. I still struggled. It wasn't like a quick, and it was something
But you
that I
felt
had,
you felt the
100
tides
and it
turning.
was like, and it was just my mind started to process things differently, and it was this slow burn of like I could feel myself kind of changing, and like I would think about something a certain way, and that would bring me down prior, and I would just be like, no, like that's not. You can. I
So
can
what's
look at it
happening when you're on the
differently.
mound currently
Currently,
in your mind?
I'd say all the same, like things that we talked about. Like my mind is still spitting out all the same shit.
Yeah.
I just don't choose to put my energy into the things that will deter me from like. So when I first got to the big leagues, you have all those scary, anxious thoughts,
Yeah.
but because they're so new, you grab them. You like, okay, how do I understand this? And like my energy was put into like, how do I figure that out, and not how do I get dudes out? And it finally, I struggled enough, and I felt like I started to
interesting.
really understand my brain, and like now I still get that shit. I still fucking feel anxious
Even now?
sometimes. Here, like it's never gonna go away. That's life. I'm a human,
Mm.
but it doesn't like deter. It's there, but it's a cloud. It's just there. Like
Right.
the good ones are there too. It's what I need to choose, and on the mound, you don't have time to sift through them. You just have to find your staples, like my go-tos. Like I'm on
So-
the mound. I've done it enough to have my routine in which like when things start to get a little choppy, fuck it. I've been here before. Like let's go. Step off, collect yourself, keep
And
going.
go. Yeah. Do you feel like you're truly like I feel like you're pretty tapped into yourself? Have you even arrived at a flow state yet?
In pitching,
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, that's not something I feel like you can like get every time. That's one of those
Yeah.
like that's a couple times a year feeling. Like it's easier, I guess, to get into now.
But
and-
even with the success, like with the success you're having, you feel like that only happens a few times a year to be in like true flow.
True, 100% true flow. Like I'm still like my brain is very
think you
active
can
when
get
I
there.
pitch. I think it depends on what it is. I can get into a flow state much quicker in like like snowboarding. Like I don't really go snowboarding anymore.
Yeah.
But like something like that.
Is there a
like
part of you that wants to?
jujitsu or,
Is
like-
there a part of you that wants to challenge yourself to arrive there?
That's
doing
all-
what you do at a professional level.
1,000,000%.
Like
That's the goal. I'm striving to be the best I can possibly be, and I know if I can get there. Like with baseball, you were a pitcher. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have, say you have 30 starts, you will have at least 5 fucking terrible ones in terms of how you
Totally.
feel and how you work through that
Mm-hmm.
is how your season goes. You're gonna have 5 where you're flow state, where you're straight up just I could be thinking about cookies and rainbows, and I'm just dotting corners. And then the ones in the middle are the ones like that's where you're making breaks. And I think my 20
Mm.
is a strong 20. Like it's
Yeah.
mentally. Like I'm always gonna struggle. Like you're baseball, you're gonna
Think
struggle. But
about how
like
much you've grown in the last 4 years though, as a person mentally. I mean, think about if you compounded that in the next 4 years.
100%, yeah.
I think you could be in flow state a lot.
I 100%.
You know,
Yeah. Like where I am now, like that's the
because
goal.
you like you said, it's not like you haven't done it so
Yeah.
long to
Yeah.
where. But I feel like that's part of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is like in 4 years from now. If you're really continuously going down this path you're on too,
Yeah.
like you're really trying to understand
Yeah, I
yourself.
don't think I could not, to be honest. Like
I don't
that's
think
in
you
my
couldn't
brain.
either.
I don't think I can stop being this way. Like in a sense, like I said, it's a positive and a negative. Like I'm so obsessed with baseball, like I could not do this. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
would be miserable.
yeah.
Like yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
No,
So
that's what. No, totally.
yeah,
I'm just saying, even to the point where, like, I'm interested in what you would be like if you just could calm your mind completely. Because
yeah.
'cause that's
I
the
think
reason you're
that's
meditating.
yeah. No,
That's the
I
reason
think
that's
yeah,
what the psilocybin did.
yeah,
Like, it got you out of the monkey mind. Like,
sure, yeah.
and
I think more of like what I'm interpreting as flow state is like where you can fully check out. I'm talking about like I still have to like game plan. Like I'm still thinking. Like
right,
I'm
of
pitching,
course.
but it's not like as far as like mechanical flow state stuff, it's still not 100%, but
Hmm.
like that is way more consistently flow state than it used to be.
Yeah,
Like there's still
because you got
always
some
going to be
big
that
limbs
fight.
flying around. It's
Yeah.
harder
So
for
yeah,
you.
it's like tough to figure out, but I think it's like the days that you are more screwed up, that's when you need to tap into it more. Like, all right, I am not myself right now.
Yeah,
Stop with a conscious thought. It's not like, okay, maybe it's my backside, maybe it's my front side.
right.
It's probably none of those. It's probably you need to just shut it all off and figure out how to get back into your rhythm.
Yeah,
And like with all the externals going on, like sometimes it's a lot harder than other times, but that's why I love baseball. Like
yeah.
I'm put into this like microscope of 30 starts where like I get to go to the depths of my brain much more consistently than somebody
Are you a
does.
big strategy guy as far as how much strategy are you putting into your outings?
Not as far as game plan. I think I would interpret strategy as like my routine of like what I do weeks prior. But like when I do go out there to pitch, I'm very much my strengths. I
Yeah,
know my game plan. I know a weakness.
right,
I know how I'm going to attack a hitter, but I'm out there just trying to like
right,
fuck dudes up.
right.
Like I'm just trying to go out there and be like obviously like with a controlled,
Yeah,
and that's what I've
you have
learned
that
from
kind of stuff.
yeah, like 19 to 21 for me. 19 if you go back and watch me pitch, like I always talk about like I like to pitch angry. Like it's very like it helps me a lot.
Hmm.
19 it was like in a sense too much. I was all of my I'm out there seething, dude. I'm out there
Hey,
like
don't try.
and I ended up getting fucking hurt. Like
Yeah,
in now 21 it's like I need to find a way to get there without the energy. I need to do this 30 times. It's
yeah,
like I'm slowly learning how to like I want to do this for a long time.
yeah,
So I need to find a way like the 19 self was the first time I ever succeeded in the big leagues and that was cool, but I had just too much energy. Like
mm,
that was not sustainable. So
right.
now it's like this slow ride of like trying to find
A
balance
balance.
of caring, not caring, how much energy I put in, how much I don't put in and like I'm just I'm fully dedicated to the process. Like whether I do well or whether I do bad, like I'm not really hunting like I don't want to be the best pitcher ever. Like I want to be the best me I can be. I don't want like Hall of Fame is like that'd be great, but that's not my goal. Like
Right.
I want to suck
Maximize your
everything I
potential.
can out of the
Yeah.
game because it's taught me so much and I know it's only going to keep teaching me shit. So
Hell
like
yeah.
if I keep playing and like the day that I don't throw 100 anymore and I got to start throwing cutters and change and doing that guy, like I welcome that day. Like
Yeah.
I think that'll teach me a lot as well. So I'm trying to just
It's incredible how much
stay
a
in.
game can teach you, you know?
Yeah.
As I got out of sports, I kind of, my perspective on it was kind of like, you know, for lack of a better word, I'd just be like, man, I really spent my entire existence so far just playing the fucking game, pretty
Yeah.
much. And
Yeah.
like all my relationships stem from that game.
For real.
And like,
Do you think it affected your relationships too? Like if you were very much in your own like
hell
you
yeah.
were baseball. To
Hell
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Very selfish,
100,000,000%
very
me too.
selfish internally.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't outwardly like egocentric or anything like
Mhm.
that, but everything was just about curating me and like
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
like nothing about like helping others or like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
'Cause you
Like I would
can't
always
yeah.
help anyone in there if
Sure.
anyone
I
in
know what you're
need.
saying.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like just the general like I started learning about life and like, oh man, I really just think about myself the whole time. Like,
Yeah. 100%.
you know?
And then you need to have a little bit of that. I know people who don't have any of that and they wish they could be that way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
again,
finding
it's a fucking balance.
balance for sure. Like finding what works for you for sure. But like I was the same way. Like I
Yeah.
was just it's all about me. Like I had good things all around me, and I was just like, well, no, dude, I'm gonna fucking 5 innings and 1 run. Like I was just always
Yeah.
thinking about baseball, and it was like,
Now,
yeah,
are you enjoying yourself now? Are you
I
really you seem to be
100%.
very happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like I'm a human. I have my ups and downs like
Right.
anyone, but like it's like different. Like I think if I have like my problems are like real life ones as opposed to like a game. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I'm definitely just trying to like with the perspective of like trying to find balance. I'm very much trying to like baseball. If it, I love it to death, but like I said, I want to do this forever. I'm obsessed. If I have the availability to do it, I'm going to do it. But if it
Mm.
got taken from me tomorrow,
One day it
I
will.
exactly I would be sad. But like I have a lot of other shit I want to do. Like I don't ever want to take it for granted.
Right.
But like I don't need the game to be happy.
Right.
And like that's what I think
It's a great thing to arrive at coming from
yeah,
where you were coming from.
definitely. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I could have done it if I didn't like yeah.
Are you It's kind of back to what I was originally saying. I just kind of want to keep picking at this. Have you really celebrated what's going on in your life? Or you just kind of like, oh, this is what I thought was going to happen, and I'm here, and I'm
I
excited, but I'm
I think I have a lot of fun. Like I
yeah.
enjoy
I don't
like
mean
no,
partying.
no, I know what you're saying.
I
I know
mean,
what you're saying.
like
Yeah,
wake up, like
no doubt.
shit,
So
you know, like
that's what I wasn't willing to do before either. Like when I was doing well, I always was just kind of like, oh, don't jinx it. Like don't. There's a big thing in baseball
yeah.
about like don't ride your highs, don't ride your lows.
There's
And I
merit
get
to
it.
that.
I 100%. But I also realized like it's okay to fucking be happy. Like it's okay to know you're doing well. It's okay to like. Do you know who Brene Brown is?
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
I watched her TED talk.
yeah.
I remember, and it was like this. I like totally resonated with it. My mental conditioning coach from a Rays sent it to me, and
Hmm.
I was talking to him in the dugout that day, and I was like, it was just like I couldn't really enjoy my ups, and I was like kind of miserable on my downs, but like in a sense of like I'm okay with being not okay, and I'm okay with being very happy. Like it's just how it fucking goes. I'm not gonna spend all my
That's the
time
key.
trying to be like I gotta be this monk. Like no, I'm a human. I have emotions. Like
Yeah,
it's okay to celebrate your success. Like I think that's what you're asking. Like,
yeah,
that's in the last year or so, year and a half that's been a big change for me.
yeah.
Like really
That's what
trying
I'm
to like
getting at.
yes,
You
like
know, I'm trying to like.
yeah,
I try when I have the athletes here to try to like poke them and be like,
and that's not
you
very
looking
common with
around and
athletes.
like,
Yeah,
fucking, you achieved your lifelong dream,
it's
and
tough.
like,
It's so humbling too. It's hard to be like that as an athlete. I feel like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
for
I
some
mean,
like
I think baseball guys, especially, like you said, it's a
humbling.
failure-centered game,
Yeah,
very humbling
and the
game.
second you start to like I don't know like people like not get joy out of your failure, but like you fail so much to where people just start to go like you're just like, well, you should stop being happy and start fucking not going 0 for 10. It's like, what does that mean? Like,
Fuck that
I
shit.
know, it's just crazy.
I mean,
Like, I guarantee, like, at some point, I'll struggle and be like fucking shroom head over here is not doing, like, some shit will, you know what
yeah,
I
but
mean?
like, dude, we had this conversation in the kitchen. Like, it's really hard for me to get on the same page with sports fans and
Yeah,
like their lack of awareness
sure.
in this situation, in the sense of like, you know, you guys, every single person who listens to this or just existing has struggles.
Hmm.
And then at a certain point, you're like, oh, you realize like, hey, this is part of life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you have so many struggles that you realize, yes, this is part of being human, right?
Hmm.
The fact that you guys make a lot of money, one, you fucking earned it.
Hmm.
Two, you're gifted, right? So the point is like they're losing touch with like the fact that everyone here varies in skills and talents and interests and things they're good at, things they're bad at, what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, we as humans should understand that. Like, everyone is their own individual. For you to try to tell somebody that, like, one, they shouldn't feel sad or down because,
Hmm.
hey man, you're a fucking guy, you made 20 million, man.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with it.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to, because I have a lot of diehard sports fans that
Yeah.
follow me, and like, I don't give a fuck if they don't get it. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure.
I'm just speaking my truth about
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
But I know the athletes so well as friends.
Yeah,
And I just try to shed light on the fact that like these guys have lives.
yeah,
You know, like the
100%.
guys like yourself, your biggest breakthrough was realizing baseball wasn't life. That was
Yeah.
your biggest breakthrough.
100%.
How ironic that you realizing that baseball isn't life made you a better baseball player.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
who the fuck would have thought?
who would have thought?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from the fans' perspective, like, oh, Shroomhead, or hey, focus, like the guys who like have a clothing line or do commercials like Baker
Sure.
Mayfield. I'm buddies with Baker.
Yeah.
I remember the whole first year. He did tons of commercials
Yeah.
before his rookie season, and like didn't have a great year or a bad year. Just
Yeah.
like did okay his first year. But I saw he was going to be a great quarterback. You know, he got so much. I remember just following the bar, like just the whole, just my timeline of people like throwing shade at it.
Yeah.
Because like, guys doing fucking State Farm commercials and or whatever the fuck commercials
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of like how we're wired as a society, like this sports fans culture of like it's hard asses.
Yeah.
Like there's no understanding.
Yeah.
There's no compassion.
Very true.
And my question is like, how do you sit in that seat in the bleachers and like really never realize, or when you go home and like when you have a bad day, just never think about, hey, like,
Yeah.
like at least bring that compassion with you. Because
Yeah.
as you said, bro, I have a podcast with Johnny Manziel who's been through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
But the person it's made him, it's made him when you go through your own struggles,
Yeah.
it makes you so compassionate, such a more the humility that you gain.
That's
from
a good way to put it.
It makes
for
you
sure.
a great like that's why I cherish my struggles.
Yeah.
Because I like who I am now.
Yeah.
And if I look back at the guy who didn't struggle, I don't like that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. He's
know?
never humbled.
Never
Yeah.
humbled.
Yeah.
Like no humility. Like
Yeah.
no understanding of other people. Like now I know what I went through and my problems are minuscule.
Right.
So now, I mean, when I see the person at the gas station, scraping together some money, like I'm just like, or the person working, serving and hustling around, waiting tables and
Yeah.
getting, tough nights at work, having to hustle and do this shit, like, and they still have a smile on their face.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the shit I'm inspired by, bro.
1,000,000%,
Like I
man.
really go out in public, I'll be inspired by that more than
Yeah.
like, like what the generic person's inspired by.
1,000,000%,
Really,
yeah.
the humility and like the fact that you could be happy and have a genuine light about you.
Yeah.
When you haven't been given the privileges.
Definitely.
It's fucking eye opening.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Your scale of success is different. And I think people like that, like the busboy who's just fucking jamming out, just like happy as hell.
Yeah.
His level of like, he figures it out. He is
Yeah.
way smarter than the guy on Wall Street. Like,
Yeah.
not like you can fucking work on Wall Street and be happy. But like,
Right.
it's just like what your scale of happiness, or like why you live your life, like what's important to you. And like,
Right.
it's obviously like people want to make money, but like, are you willing to like sell your soul for the thing that you think is like, that's
Right.
fleeting. Like it's super easy to like make that your passion. Like
Mhm.
all the external things that look really good. Like, of course you want to change, like it's a balance, but like if you
Yeah.
overload on one thing, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like 100%. That is true. Like it's very nice to see just happy people like,
Really is,
and
man.
just doing like anything.
Really
like,
is.
Yeah.
And I think the whole world's gonna shift more towards that. I really do. I think
I think
you
it would
can
be
only
great.
go down this path so long before it's like
I know.
need something
100%.
on a bigger scale.
Definitely.
So now, I mean, we're just starting this season, right? I don't. Follow
What are
fucking
we?
baseball.
We
I'm
have
not-
20 games in.
How many starts have you had so far?
4.
Four?
5th is tomorrow. Yeah.
And you're throwing it.
Yeah.
How are you feeling overall? Body
Good.
feels good.
Yeah.
I
There
know.
you go.
And you've been. Would you credit Tampa just the switch? I mean, it sounds like Pittsburgh was tough. I mean, I don't think it had to do with the city. It more so had to do with just where you were in your life.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But when you got to Tampa, that's when things got a little lighter.
I think so. I think it was a product of everything. I think like what we talked about, like kind of what my realization, my perspective switch in like 17, 18.
Mhm.
And it helps so much going to Tampa. Like the vibe in Tampa is unbelievable. Like it is the
Place
most
fucks.
fun. Oh, fucking amazing. The coaching staff, the front office, everything. It is the most relaxed. Like no rules. Not me. Like we're not walking around there like wild animals, but like there's no like hierarchy.
Such a
like-
vibe.
yeah, there's not like this whole like rookie big league like type
Mhm.
shit going on. Everyone's just on the same wavelength, and like
Love that.
a lot of people too. Like when I was with Pittsburgh, and a lot of people like to blame Pittsburgh for me doing bad there. And like I say, it's not their shit. Like that was my
Yeah,
shit.
you had
Like,
to arrive there
yeah,
yourself.
like I think the development in a sense was really good in Pittsburgh, and like the modern day pitching is way better in Tampa. Like they made me a better pitcher, no doubt.
Right.
But I think like I was the reason I sucked in Pittsburgh. It wasn't like because of the city or the coaches or anything. It was
Right.
me, and it was just the timetable happened to be I got traded, and then shit started to work out for me.
And we're fucking neighbors.
I know it's crazy.
Sucks. I'm leaving.
I know it's a bummer. I'm here. Yeah. I'll
How
be
long
around.
have you been here?
Like 20 days or not? Well, we moved in like
Yeah, so
season
it wasn't that
started like a
much.
month.
It wasn't that much overlap time.
3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Dandy of a little neighborhood we got here though.
This is sick.
Nice.
I know. I'm trying to find a for sale place in here. This is crazy.
Yeah,
It's
for real.
nuts.
I mean, you're a California kid. You feel
Yeah.
like just being by the water. You surfing shit. I
Yeah.
feel like that's been a big part of just catching your normal vibe.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean,
Your
growing
general
up,
happiness here.
yeah, no doubt. I think growing up, I skated a lot and snowboarded growing up a lot. Like that was my life was more like when I was skating, that was like I never thought it was gonna be a career choice, but that's when I was like the happiest. Like it was just
Really?
it was playing baseball and skating. And life, I didn't give a shit. Like I cared a lot about baseball, I always have, but like I was from what like fifth grade to like ninth grade. Like my whole life was I skated like 13 hours a day. That's all I did with all my
Interesting.
friends. And then like I got into surfing as like
Yeah.
a pro
You did
ball.
track and field and shit
Yeah.
too? I think Arch was telling me
Yeah,
that.
that was a huge part of my life too. That my
What did you
brother,
do?
I was a high jumper. I went to like, I got a silver medal in the
You look
junior
like a
Olympics.
fucking high
Yeah, I
jumper.
know. I'm like a gangly motherfucker. Yeah, that was a good time.
You went to the Olympics, you said?
Junior Olympics when I was like 11 or some shit.
So you're like
in
a
high
freak
jump.
athlete kind of.
And like those are like it depends on the sport. It depends.
For being
I'm
as tall as you are
sure.
and being that athletic.
I'm athletic for my
pretty
size,
crazy.
for sure.
What about this head of lettuce? How long has this been a thing?
I had long hair when I was a little skater hoochie growing up. Like
Yeah.
that was always my
Great
my
head of
look.
hair.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I
Appreciate
can
it.
only aspire to be in that category. I don't even know if I have the capability.
I think you could. You got
the
a lot
God's
right.
gift. I'm growing a little mullet.
Yeah, there it
you
is.
know?
Little
I'm
curls
starting to get some.
going on.
I'm starting to get some wings.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's been a while though. I've always had short hair. In Pirates, I had to be all buttoned up, and I couldn't like.
Yeah.
That's another weird fucking rule with baseball. Like you have to like shave and cut your hair.
I think it's
in
corny. I had
organizations.
Clint Frazier on this couch
Yeah, it's
talking about. He was
crazy.
talking about it a bit.
It's like the Yankees in a sense. Like even that, I'm like weird, but like there's so much history. Like that's cool because like everyone and like their whole mentality is
Right.
like nobody is more
I
important
like
than
it.
the next guy.
I like the
think it's
basis
cool.
of it, but it also feels outdated.
Yeah, like why is a grown man telling me how to style my fucking hair? Like that's weird to me.
Do whatever the fuck I
Teams
want.
will
How about
trade for you and
just
then
to-
tell you to cut your
like
hair.
some guys? Like I know guys who are grown men who like really. I mean, I lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, really like how they dress, how they look, and how they feel
Yeah,
dictates their life.
sure.
Seriously, like
Yeah.
especially in LA, but even I know guys very close with that like they don't have any confidence until they look the way
Yeah.
they want to look.
Yeah,
You know, and I think that's pretty common.
it's a tool for a lot
So
of
like
people, especially
not
in
to
sports.
say it's like that at that level, but like if I want a fucking beard and I think it gives my face a better shape,
1,000,000%.
I want to feel good, look
Yeah.
good while I perform for the team that's
Yeah.
paying me millions of dollars to
I know.
perform. I would think that would override.
Why? Yeah, it's like why every
dress
athlete,
code.
100%. Like every athlete. That's why like fashion and like shit like that, just being like extroverted and like doing all those things is so important because like you need to feel good to play good. A lot of
Yeah.
people are like that. Like you want to feel.
Have you done a bunch of podcasts before? Have people seen this side of you, your
I've
personality?
done this. Yeah, I don't. I mean, like no, I don't think I talked about psilocybin before, but like
But just
I've,
in general.
I've done podcasts. But I have one with like Chris Rose or whatever on.
So you
on,
have
like,
one?
Twitter. I'm like co-hosted with a bunch of different guys.
Okay.
It's fun. Like you just talk to like baseball dudes. That's cool. I've done them before too. Like just gone on them.
Yeah.
Not a bunch though. I've
Yeah.
done a few, but not like a bunch.
I mean, I think the reason I bring it up is I think baseball as an entity
Mm-hmm.
is in need. I mean, there's a guy, Trevor Bauer, who's doing it. He
Yeah.
pisses a lot of people off with the way he
I
does
went
it.
to high school with him.
Really?
Yeah, he went to my high
No
school.
way. I had him on the podcast.
Yeah, I like Trevor.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
him a lot. You know, I get why it might be polarizing.
No doubt.
You know, and I think he leans into the negativity too much,
Mhm.
in my opinion. But whatever works for you.
Yeah.
He's at his best right now. It feels like,
100%.
you know. But what I do think is he's really forward thinking.
He is. He's smart, dude.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to be smart because he's like a book smart.
Mhm.
You know, he has that like book smart vibe to him.
Yeah.
Where like I'm gonna X equals Y.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
figure the problem out and
yeah,
you know
yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah.
But I do actually think he might be on it, the first guy, like kind of going out of his way to maybe solve a problem in baseball.
Yes.
And it's like creating a lifestyle, you know, like
Yeah.
the vlogs is, you know, it's a little intense with the way he's doing it. Like,
Sure.
and I don't think most baseball guys are gonna
I don't
give
know, I
two
think-
fucks to like hold a camera and vlog what
Yeah,
they're
I
doing.
can't do that. I wouldn't.
I
do it.
can't
But that's
either.
why I'm like, I respect. Like, I'm like,
I
how
respect
do
it.
you do that?
I
Like,
respect
it's literally has to be like a superpower.
Like, think about what I think we said it in the kitchen, but like, you know, like what I'm getting at with you even is just like sharing, like, there's a whole gaping hole that needs to be filled in baseball. And
Mhm.
it's creating, it's like having the players have like individuality and
Yeah.
identities,
Yeah.
you know? And it is really interesting to fans, one, but two, I just think it will make it more interesting. It will help the sport,
Yeah,
you know, like to the younger social media generation.
yeah,
Think about it.
100%.
Everyone is like celebrity, that whole thing, like access is completely changed to the
Mhm.
point where the more access, the better. This is, you know, from branding, you
Yeah.
know, like to artists, the people who really are their true authentic and can like fans are following their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're on this journey with them,
Yeah.
you know? And like I think it will even help the sports fan perspective that we talk
Definitely. It like
about.
humanizes the athlete.
Yeah.
No
And
doubt.
like I think it will open that door even more for them to just be like, all right, like I identify this person outside of his jersey number,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
and I think you would be a great candidate for it. You know, like doing something, you know, we talked about it, you
Yeah.
know. Maybe I'll just send you some podcast equipment and start bullying
Oh,
you to
there
do
you
something.
go.
But I think the sport is actually in need of it, you know?
Definitely.
And again, I have the same respect you have for baseball. I learned a lot about myself and
Yeah.
learned a lot about life.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what better way to pay it forward is to like kind of figure out some of the problems. I think Trevor is doing pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um, Now it's just a weird culture to navigate. And what we talked about in the kitchen is just like, or what you just referenced, like as soon as you have some struggles, they'll reference, hey, why don't you
Yeah.
focus up?
Exactly.
But like Trevor's saying, fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna
Exactly.
shove it up your ass.
You
the
have a
whole-
finite amount of time. Like maybe not even using Trevor as an example, because
Yeah.
I mean he's obviously going to play for a long time. But like as an athlete, like you need to kind of soak up as much as you can because nothing is guaranteed. You don't have like
Nothing's
I don't have a
guaranteed.
college degree. Like I have a finite amount of time to be on like a whatever like, to have like the opportunity is fleeting. Like I don't have as much time as other people to like make my money and do all that stuff.
Mhm.
To where like I think I don't know personally. I think you should take that window and try to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think if anything can become a distraction. Like if it becomes more important than your job,
Right.
it's one thing. But I do think it's just like it would be better if everyone went out and did it. And baseball, like we talked about, is such a humbling sport that I think a lot of guys aren't willing to go and talk about these things when they're struggling, like because it's not fun. Like
Tell you what, that's the fucking wrong reason not to.
I know
Because it's just gonna be so goddamn relatable and awesome.
exactly.
Like it's just gonna knock that door
Yeah.
down. Like
And it
instead of
teaches you
just
to
like
not give a
I'm gonna
fuck
go
about
struggle-
what that guy
exactly.
says. Like it doesn't matter.
Dude, me having a podcast changed my life.
Yeah.
Cause think about it, bro. Like we were kind of doing it before, but like when's the last time you sat down with a dude and just fucking did this? Me and you, like
Yeah.
just looking at each other, nothing else to do, no phones,
Yeah. I
no
know.
bitches running around,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it just
Doesn't
doesn't
happen very
exist.
often.
It doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
yeah.
So me doing that, like I started to learn so much about myself.
For sure.
It became therapy for me.
Yeah.
You know? And like that's kind of what I'm getting at with like instead of hiding with your struggles, like as a base one, it's already ingrained in the sport that you're gonna struggle. Like the Hall of
Exactly.
Famers fail more
Exactly.
than you know, like
Yeah.
so, you know, it's just part of it. It's time to like
Yeah.
and that's what I love. I said that to Trevor on the podcast, and I think I love that he's shoving it right now because that's really, you know, like you said, the first instinct everyone has is like, oh, focus up, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Somebody put the camera down and
Yeah.
start working your mechanic. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah, exactly.
You said something funny about people in the stands where like, you know, like you'll be out long tossing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be out. I'll fucking say that. Like, yeah, anytime like you're warming up before a game, like you'll be in the outfield. Or like I'll use like Yankee Stadium as an example. And like I'll go out into left field and I'll do my throwing program in like left field. And I'm like in the middle of center field doing my long toss.
Mhm.
And everyone's lined up like, fuck your mother, you dirty cunt, like freaking out. And then like it literally like step by step, the closer you get, the quieter it gets. And then like you get close and no one fucking says anything. And then like you go and like someone will say something and like, but it's not like, it's like Twitter. It's like in your immediate, you're kind of genuine. Like you're not gonna like, you're not that much of a dick. I know you're not. The guy in the stands, like you're doing it because it's a show.
Right.
But once it becomes like intimate and they're doing it, like no one really fucking talks shit.
Has anyone ever come up to you and talk shit in person ever?
No, I mean like there'll be some like drunk fucking hecklers that'll like do some, but like it's never.
Not like
No.
out in public.
No.
No.
I've had people like in Pittsburgh be like, "Hey man, like everything I can help you with, like, cause you suck. Like I can help you. Like you're doing all this wrong." And I'm like not a very combative. I'm like, "Thanks, man. Like it's coming from a place of love. Like
It is.
you want me to do well, I get it, but like not right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm not.
I actually need your
yeah,
assistance.
come over and tell me some average guy can tell me how to pitch.
Let me
like,
know. Let me know what
yeah.
I can do better.
It's just yeah.
Mr. Steve, what's up, buddy? Steve can't miss a podcast. He has to make an appearance. You
5 years old, right?
You had some Aussies, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a normal Australian Shepherd. Now I have a mini Australian Shepherd. I have a buddy who has two. And he
So
like,
do you have them with you, or
no, it was like my family
your
dogs.
family dogs?
Yeah, growing up.
Are you thinking about getting a dog ever, or
I
what?
travel too much. How do you do it?
I mean, I live with like 2 guys or 3
Oh,
guys.
that's true.
you know?
That's the thing though. Like Sergio Romo was on our team in 2018, and he had a dog, and he would like take it on the plane with
That's
it.
a
Like
vibe.
it was awesome, but like it ended
Steve,
up being
you'd
like
that, wouldn't you?
It ended up being like, no, we can't do it.
I don't
Like,
know.
it's a
We've
big
never
no
taken
dog
them
rule
on
now.
tour because tours have.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
a tour is way more ratchet than like baseball
Yeah,
traveling.
exactly.
Like we're like literally
Yeah.
like.
But I just
belligerent.
couldn't. Like, I'm gone to. I can't take a dog on the flight. Like, you can't do it anymore. It's like
Yeah.
a rule. So
Yeah.
like, I would just have to leave a dog at home.
Yeah, all my guys like they have caretakers.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess it's true. I could do that.
Yeah, Marcus has a big dog. He takes him around though. Like he
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
take him with to the team. He's a
Do you
huge
ever just
dog.
like, or like, yeah, you probably do. But like in the off season, I travel a shit ton. Like to
Yeah.
where if I had a dog, I don't know if I could like.
Yeah.
I'll go, like go to Europe and I can't like bring my dog.
So
with me.
you're doing that. You're doing that already, going traveling in your
Yeah,
off seasons.
yeah, I went.
I love
been to
that.
A bunch of places. It's the best. I love
Great.
it so much. I look forward to it every year. I went in 2019, 18. I did like a solo trip to Europe, and that was awesome. I was there for like 2
You went
weeks.
solo to Europe?
Traveling alone is my favorite. I like going alone.
That's badass.
It's
I
the
talk about on
best.
this. I don't really go places alone.
Do it. It's so because you meet like talk about like
Oh my god, I need to do it.
you definitely need to because you get thrown into an uncomfortable situation of like and you're really personable. Like you can be friends with anybody. Like and that's kind of I just go and like make friends when I go.
Yeah,
to
I
some
guess I'm
places.
kind of in my comfort zone with my dogs. I've just been with these guys, and like I don't.
I mean, I think you'd thrive. I think you'd have no. I think you'd.
I
have,
should
like, the
probably
best
do
time
that
ever. But,
ASAP,
like,
huh?
when you're just alone out there, like, what the fucking no
Yeah.
one. Like, I'm gonna talk to this person, and like, you end up having a great time. Like,
I love that.
another thing that's amazing. I don't do like the Hinge or the Tinder or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when I travel in Europe, when like nobody knows who you are and you don't know anyone,
like
that
that.
is the best.
I like
you
that
meet
for you.
girls and like you meet their friend group and you meet.
I feel like you do real
people.
well in Europe.
And it's fun. I look European as shit, dude. It's
You
just all,
do.
dude, like I'll go shopping or like go into a store and everything fits. It's
6'8".
fucking crazy. Yeah. Everything is like shaped like like here I can't find anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
love that.
definitely it's fun.
I love
dude.
that you do that though. That's a really cool. That's an interesting personality trait that I wouldn't necessarily pair that with someone who's like considered themselves like anxious or OCD or like.
I think it's why I do it. Like
So you like genuinely do that to kind of get yourself out of a comfort zone, kind of.
yeah, I
And
think,
you just love traveling.
and I love it. Like and that's the thing. It's not like I'm just this like shell of like anxiety. I think like the
No,
way
no,
I
no.
interpret anxiety was like different. It's like yeah, it's not like I could still go and like have conversations be personable, but I would just be like just
I get what you mean.
not in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like yeah.
You know what your full capacity
Yeah,
is when
100%.
when you're there, and
I
if
mean,
you're
you just
not.
like cannot focus, and
Yeah.
like, especially with just like relationships, and it was like my stresses were way more than the person, and like
You said you've
yeah.
had one
Yeah,
relationship as
yeah.
well in your life.
Yeah.
And was that during your struggles?
yeah, it was like the whole time.
How
It was,
interesting
like,
is that?
Yeah, it was still like a good time. Like we're still like
Well, not to say
friends
it's
and
about the
shit, too.
relationship.
Yeah, yeah, it's more.
just,
Yeah,
like even from a real mature aspect of looking at it, it's just like she got a poor version of me.
no
you know?
doubt. Yeah, exactly.
I've had those thoughts,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
at the same time, it's just like I talk about relationships a lot actually because I think it's really interesting what it
Yeah.
does to you as a man
For sure.
when you go through it,
Yeah,
and especially if you've only had a few. Like a lot of guys kind of date around, like
especially if it's like a real. It was like a 3-year one too.
a real one,
it was
yeah.
like a long one,
yeah.
and it ran its course, and like it's like
Is it? Why do you think it's only because you're an attractive, successful guy? What is it for you?
what?
Like, what is it? Because I know, I've only had one real relationship, so I want to know why you think you've been so limited in it.
I'm just not willing to like I can thrive with no girlfriend. I don't need somebody to like I think it's good to have when you
love
find
that.
something that works and connects and you're like that's cool. I want that person around a lot, but like I'm not gonna go search for it. I've never been a
love
guy
that.
like I need a girlfriend. Like I'm not that guy. Like if it happens, it
Detached.
happens. But yeah, I don't
Detached.
I don't
Steve's coming
need
over
that.
to visit you
And
now.
I like to travel solo and there's not many girls that are down with you being like, oh, that whole 7-month season I just had. See ya. Like
See ya,
I don't
I'm
want to
gone-
hang out with
I'm
you.
gone
I'm
for
going
2
to
months.
travel alone. Like
Yeah, tough to explain.
yeah. And
Was
I'm
that really hard
27.
on your relationship?
I didn't do it when I was in the relationship. We would travel together, so it was great. I went to like Thailand and shit like that. So it was like,
But deep down, you're like, fuck, I kind of want to be alone.
I think it was the time in my life when it was very much like we both were kind of on that vibe. Like we both real like I didn't know who I was at the time, and she didn't know who
Same.
she was either. Like, and it was just it had to happen.
It's really, I talk about relationships a lot, and for that reason, because as a society, especially we're our parents' kids,
Yeah.
and our parents, there's been a huge generational shift to
Yes.
norms and like what's actually real. I use realistic loosely, but like just like our culture and our reality has done a like the fucking internet. Like when they
Yeah.
were our age, they barely had like fucking
Exactly.
TVs and like fucking
Yes.
didn't even have cell phones yet.
Mhm.
So now you have like so much access to the rest of the world,
Mhm.
and you can't expect yourself. Even then, I think that was a faulty basis then. If you think about our parents, right? Like the norm is like You know, high school or college, you find the girl, you get married.
Yes.
You know, you get a modest house, you got some jobs around the corner. You know, maybe our kids go to the same high school. Like, there's not this huge like, you
Yeah,
don't have some,
database of people
yeah, you don't
around.
have a
Yeah,
device in your pocket. You're
exactly.
literally
Yeah,
symbiotic with
yeah,
that can like, so you could see anything that's going on
yeah,
anywhere, any edge of the world. My
yeah.
parents didn't even fucking leave Rhode Island.
Exactly,
You could drive through Rhode Island in 1 hour,
exactly.
and they barely left.
Definitely.
So what I'm saying is like you can't compare those norms to our norms now. And you said something that is exactly what I'm trying to say to like the listeners, and I've been preaching it. It's just like you have to understand how hard relationships are at this age, at this time.
Yeah,
And like if you take it easier on your partner and yourself,
yeah,
just like, yo, like we're both trying to figure out who we are. Let's try to do it together.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
instead of the attachment
exactly.
that
Or like
most people,
codependency, or like some
right.
sort of like, I need you to change to do this for me, and like
Right,
not
and then
like,
think
yeah,
about the evolutions as an individual that you need
hmm,
to go through respectively.
yeah,
Now, you have so much transformation to happen from your mid 20s to even 30, you know,
yeah,
like 20 to 35. These huge transformations that
yeah,
look like the f- the idea that you're going to evolve completely together, you know, in the same direction at the same tempos and be
yeah,
able to understand each other and work through it together, it's harder and harder as time goes on. And our culture has shifted to just this incredible database of people and
yeah,
reach. And, you
yeah.
know, it's really difficult. So
Definitely.
I love that you're single,
Yeah,
you know,
I
because
like it too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you should just, you know, you got the right idea, but like that detachment from, I think most people, a lot of people's misery in relationships are they're not really realizing that they're attached to having someone, not
Exactly.
exactly that
Yeah,
person.
haven't figured
They just
themselves
don't
out,
want
and
to
then it's like
exactly.
codependency for
Then
sure. Like
right.
you both just like, yeah, like, and it's like I just don't want to like, I don't know. I think it's everyone's fear is like settling just to settle, and like,
And you're in a culture, baseball culture that we talked about a
yeah,
little bit, that
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, you've had this life arc to being a pro baseball player, and it's kind of like what happens for the most part, I feel like. Correct me if I'm
yeah. I
wrong.
think it's a
The
very
cult
relationship sport. I think
Yeah.
there's 4 single people on our entire team, like, which is good to each their own. Like it is such a struggle game, and if you can find a girl that's like willing to put up with all that shit with you, like hang on to her. And people find them, and like
Yeah.
they do their thing, but like I don't know. I think on the flip side of what you were saying, like there's the idea of settling, and there's the idea of like with this database of people, like never settle because you're like, oh, there's always something better out
Yeah.
there, always something
It's
better
a
out there,
balance
and
like
like
anything else,
yeah,
right?
and I just think it's good to not lean into either one of those. I think
Right.
if an opportunity and like a thing presents itself and it works out, it works out. Like I'm not a guy who's like not like I don't need to be like I don't need a girlfriend, but I'm also not like I got to be single. Like if it works, it works. Like
Right.
I'm down to have kids and have like this everything. That'd be great. I'd love it. I
I'm
want
exactly the
children
same.
very bad, but
There's a Wayne, you know Wayne Dyer?
no.
I'll put you on some of his stuff. He was a big part of helping me down this path. But he has this quote. A few of my boys got it tatted. But it's have a mind that's open to anything and attached to nothing. So like
I've heard that quote
yeah,
before.
that's him.
Yeah.
And you're just like open. I think it's him, or maybe he just was. I don't know. He definitely delivered it to me. At
Yeah,
least.
okay.
But that struck a huge chord. And you talk about flow state, right? Like
Mhm.
you're literally open to the possibilities that life, whatever's gonna flow to you.
Yeah.
Like you find the right girl and you guys have 2 kids 3 years from now.
Sure.
That was what was supposed to happen.
Shouldn't feel forced.
You're open
Yeah,
to that though. You know
exactly,
what I mean? And then you're
exactly.
also open to being alone for a
Yeah,
while and just navigating life yourself,
yeah.
which is really a good sign, a great sign that you can find fulfillment without that codependency
Yeah.
factor. In
What
a
do you say?
sport,
You say never force a vibe, it's an easy way to kill it.
there you go.
Go. There
Catalog
it is.
cabin, baby.
There you go.
I love that. I didn't know you were. So Arch connected us.
Mhm.
Chris Archer, who I've had on the podcast, great guy.
He's awesome.
You're just getting to know him, you said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But sweetheart, nice
Dude,
guy.
such an awesome human.
Yeah, but I didn't know you were a fan. But had you just started listening
I
now?
just started. I listen to a lot of like early stuff too, not like in depth, but like a
Right,
lot.
just
Like
hearing some of it.
your new stuff is awesome.
Yeah, thank
It's
you,
really
man.
good.
I
I
appreciate
enjoyed it
it.
a lot. I remember too. You posted on something on the Instagram. It was a catalog cabin video, and I like hit up Archer. Was like, "What the fuck is this song?" It was like you
I
didn't
love
post
that.
it yet, or it wasn't on any like platform.
Yeah, yeah,
And then,
yeah.
yeah, it was actually, dude. I heard it the first day before my Miami start, and I went and shoved, and then like the following day, I had that kind of like glow about me, and I was walking around Miami,
And
just
that
like,
catalog
"Yeah,
cabin
yeah." I was
vibe,
just like,
dog.
"Oh, this is great!" Like it was awesome.
Keep that in the headphones,
Yeah,
man.
no doubt.
I love that. What was I just gonna say? I just got distracted. My mom just sent me. Hold on.
You good?
My
You good?
mom just sent me a fucking letter from a hearing. Oh, how funny. Yeah, I got pulled over on a jet ski.
That's what
I
he
was
was
actually
telling
talking
me.
about on the
That's what
podcast,
he was telling me
but my
that,
mom
yeah.
just got it. She sends me pictures. She's like, "Honey, I think you should see this.
No
It's a
way.
fucking jet ski."
How, wait, people have pictures of it?
No, they sent the like the charges to
Oh.
them
Oh,
because
okay.
that's I don't have a house
Yeah, it's
address.
like
I
your
think they
yeah,
just
yeah, your
went on the
mailing.
one. I
Yeah,
don't even know why
I'm the
it
same
ended
way.
up there, but how funny she's all worried. It's literally for not wearing a fucking like you can't. I guess you can't ride jet skis without a
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a helmet. I was like, no
no,
way.
without a life
Oh,
jacket. I mean,
really? They
I
got
don't
a you
know.
got a
It's
ticket
my
for it?
fucking life.
I know. What?
I'm not
Yeah.
like endangering other
That's
people,
what's weird too. Yeah, like why do I need to wear a life?
but like flagged me over and made a big deal and like wrote me tickets. And,
That's
like, I was
tough.
just like,
Yeah,
and he was
like
saying I was like going too fast in some zone. I'm like, dude,
that's
just
tough.
trying to catch a vibe on the goddamn jet
Yeah,
ski,
like what do you want me to do?
you
No
know?
one around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird that you'd have to wear like a helmet law. Like why? What if I don't want to wear one? Like what?
Isn't it my body? Like,
I know. I
I
don't
don't
get
know.
that either.
You got to be a real hardo to like really enforce that on the water. Like,
Yeah.
dude, jet ski. I'm on a jet ski.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
fucking.
all like law, but it's like discretion still, because there's some cops that are like, I don't care. If
What were we just talking about that right before we got on that I want?
music, I think.
No.
Before
Well,
that,
that was before we got off. I'm just saying right then when I was like, let's just get on the podcast. I'm usually better at remembering this.
cucumber water.
Oh,
Oh, this sparked it. You got it.
that was it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I poured him a nice, delicious
Here you
glass of cucumber melon water.
There you go. Nice.
And no, this is something I actually want to bring up. Is like you don't have a chef yet. You don't have like a caretaker like
No.
helping you doing any of your shit yet.
Uh-uh.
And you said something. You're like, I like that though. I like being normal and like, which I think that's dope.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But like, it'd be nice to have some melon cucumber water.
No
just waiting
doubt. No doubt.
You know what I mean?
I
Because you
definitely
said
think
it sparked something. You were like, yeah, I don't know if I would like chop up the cucumbers and the melons. And I'm like, I got a
like,
guy.
yeah, do a guy. I'll fucking do it for you. That's true. Like when people like Archer's trying to get me on that too, and I'm like, I think it would be more beneficial in the off season because in season like all this stuff is prepared at the field. Basically, like I'll wake up and like cook breakfast and shit, which I kind of like. It's like
Yeah,
part of my routine a
get
little
that.
bit, and I have some coffee, cook some eggs. But like, I think in terms of like you got to bet on yourself, and I think if there is a like it would be only beneficial in the off season. Like if there's a guy giving you like high quality ingredients, cooking you food, like
Your
making
body is like
gains.
your
Exactly.
thing,
It's like,
you know?
yeah,
You need
exactly.
that. You need that top
Yeah.
shape, you know. And then your mind. I don't know. I mean, I'm in the business of like, you know, I think you are too. And while you meditate and stuff, just like the idea of eliminating thoughts, unnecessary
Yeah.
thoughts, unnecessary. You know, there's something meditative about cooking your own breakfast.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
getting in like the rhythm of it, not
Y-
thinking about anything else. You're just like
right.
doing what you're doing.
But there's also it's really kind of meditative when you don't have to worry about like taking the trash out
True.
or like like just the
It's
thing.
like eliminating like you already have so many things to stress about. Like eliminate. It's like you
Yeah.
have so much bandwidth to put your
Talk about
stresses
optimizing.
into. Yeah.
This is like an optimization thing.
Yeah.
I think that's something you should do for sure, just given the level you're at and
Yeah.
your level of performance you're asking from your body,
Yeah.
Having guys helping would be fucking nice. And like, I mean, my guy's part of my family. He's like a brother.
Yeah. That's
You know what I
cool.
mean?
Yeah.
Which I don't think you'll have that given you're gone most of the time. And
Exactly. And in the off season, I'm so back and like I travel like at least like once every 2 weeks, once a week. To where
Right.
I'm like, I guess I could schedule it. Like you come here these weeks, I'm here, and like
yeah. I mean, I get, it will be an in and out thing, but I mean, in season when coming home to a great meal and coming home to a clean house, like it just
No
helps your
doubt, yeah.
vibe, it really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, I gotta kind of pick up my house, kind of.
For sure.
When it's like messy and I'm in a bad, it like lowers
yeah,
my vibe.
yeah.
Really
I'll have
does.
someone like we'll go like once a month. Someone will come in and give it like a deep clean. But like,
You're such a bro still. I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
No.
try and I'll clean up my stuff pretty good though, because I'm the same way. Like I need like to be
Yeah.
have my surroundings.
No, I mean you're a
relatively,
bro by like not having help.
Oh
yet.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
good,
Yeah.
good. I'm sure I do think like you gotta. I don't know. That's like the flow of things. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point like I'll start.
A
getting more of that
ding will
stuff.
go off. Where like I need to do,
Yeah.
get some help just on this type of stuff.
It's nice to like the day before my start. Like I always like put my stuff in order. Like I can get.
Well, I
I'm
think
kind of like trying to.
I think I'm getting down to the bottom of it. You're scratching your OCD itch by like being able to. Do
Yeah,
these
dude,
things.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it for sure. I think I can like that's what my routine does. It's very much like I can have my things I can put that into,
Yeah.
and then all the other stuff I can kind of like, all right, I did my routine. Like all the other stuff I can.
You're an extreme routine guy. Day off
Yeah. Oh, in the whole week.
to a T.
Yeah. Like my routine, like my workout. Like I think that's probably one of the most for me. Exercise is 1,000% medication for me. I work out every day. Like I have to experience like a runner's high
Ah,
once a day at some point. Like mobility, if it's like anything, that is where
you
I feel like,
stretch a lot and
so yeah,
you're
every day.
super
Like
fluidity and
it's like a
stuff.
35-minute program I do every day. It's more like it's I'm now that I get
Love that.
older, it's more about like I love lifting. Like I love it, but like it's less lifting and more like functional, like PNF strong movement, like body flow,
Yeah,
like more like Edo type stuff like that.
I
Like
think that's smart.
it helps me
I don't think
pitching a
lifting
lot.
is like amazing for longevity in pitching.
I think too, it's like what you trying to accomplish. Like I throw 100. Like I don't know how much stronger I'm gonna get. Like
101.
yeah, like
One
yeah,
on three.
exactly. Like I don't. I mean, it's like finding what. Like I'm just trying to stay on the field for a long time. So like I don't need to build bulk. I need to build like longevity.
Yeah, fluidity.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think your boy Stroh's on a lot of that
Heavy.
too, right? He doesn't lift very much, right?
No.
A lot of the best ones don't. I'm starting to
He
realize.
bagged it. And he was just like, dude, he was like, he said this to me just a few weeks ago here. He's just like, man, I thought I was strong at 24. Like I thought I was in peak strong shape. Like I was lifting tons of weights. And he's like, dude, my body, I feel so much stronger and I don't even lift.
Yes,
Because he feels like all of his muscles are firing
together.
properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got off the lifting wavelength a while ago too. Like it's very much like I still do it. Like I need like one heavy day
Have
just
you
to
done
get that
Pilates?
feeling. Yeah, I would do like a variation of that basically. I used to
Yeah.
do reformer when I lived in New York. I would do it a decent amount. Like that helps. That and like Santa Barbara. My brother lives in Santa
He
Barbara.
loves the reformer, Marcus.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah.
It's all pits, dude. I remember the first time doing it, being like, "This was made for a fucking pitcher."
I
Like you
know.
do like balance
I
and
had
like,
those thoughts too.
and it's crazy.
Yeah, I've just gotten into it. I've had like my back. It's not great.
That's
And
always
like
the
I kinda like to an embarrassing amount, like let it go. Like I was just like, oh, it will heal. Like
yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
time I started to really like try to stretch it or like
Sure.
really work it, it would bark at me and I'd be like,
Yeah.
ah, fuck it.
Okay.
I'm not an athlete anymore. Like
Yeah, like
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Smoke this.
You
I'm
lift
gonna
and shit a
smoke this
lot, right?
blunt and fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't lift that much. I
Really?
just get it done. You know, I get it done, but I have zero passion for it.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
like personally, I'm kind of getting into like I've been doing hot yoga. I think that's the next phase of my
Bikram?
physicality. Yeah,
That is the shit. I
I
do that
love
too.
that. I got
That's so
started with
cool.
that in Scottsdale actually, and you're looking to move to Scottsdale, yeah?
Yeah, like Gilbert or Chandler. I think I'm gonna
Or
buy a house this off
Arizona,
season,
yeah.
somewhere around there. But I think Scottsdale is probably the move though.
Place fucks.
It's so much fun.
I'm
My
headed. I'm
parents are
headed there
there.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
See a little twinkle in my eye.
Dude,
Scottsdale.
you're excited, dude.
Yeah,
I guess it's just cool because baseball, like it's just like a mecca of baseball players. It's so many. I have so many friends out there now that were like, I'm never bored. There's someone to train with. There's
place is
something to do.
awesome.
I enjoy it a lot, and it's
Yeah,
not as like crazy as California with all the stuff going on, and
yeah,
not the taxes aren't as bad. Like
yeah,
that's a big. The 13% is not very fun.
yeah. No,
That's why
for real.
Florida's awesome.
I know.
Yeah,
I dipped.
yeah,
I told you I just
yeah.
fucking upped and left.
You're
And
out. Were
then
you a resident there when you were living there? Did you
yeah,
like you had to
yeah,
really?
yeah.
That sucks.
But you know what? It was honestly the best decision I've ever made. Talk about a jump into the unknown, the discomfort zone.
Yeah,
Like I literally, Los Angeles as an artist is like the end all be all.
sure.
It's like the big leagues,
Yeah.
right? Like you're living in Hollywood, you're fucking,
Mhm.
and like it took a while. It took a while for me to realize that was a facade,
Mhm.
specifically for me in my situation. I think you know a little bit about it, but like being an independent artist, and I told you I just like make songs in my room, in my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Like I don't really work with other people.
Yeah.
Like it's never been that. So being in LA like wasn't. It was more of a like ego thing. Like
Sure.
yo, I'm like
Well, you probably had to go and experience it because imagine if like you never went, like never, you would
absolutely,
always have like regret and be like, what was that? What would that been like?
absolutely,
And now I feel like with all like technology and shit, you don't really need to be anywhere to make music. Like you
yeah,
don't have to.
yeah.
You can just
Wait,
be
I'm
anywhere.
I'm gonna show you after this.
Yeah.
But so super simple to travel and like make high quality music anywhere.
Yeah.
Just with the right equipment. I mean, it takes X amount of dollars, but not a ton.
Yeah.
That what I'm traveling with right now is like 30 grand
Okay.
with
It's not,
shit. It's not a
how
lot.
big is it? And like how many bags you need for it? Like
Not a lot. Like the speakers are the biggest,
yeah.
and then the mic is pretty. It's a serious mic. I got a Sony C800, which is like it's probably the highest quality mic,
Yeah.
and they're discontinued. So
Okay.
like it's a rare mic, and it's just great for vocals, which is what I do.
Yeah.
So really, that's what I mean. Like I don't need a perfect room because as long as I have a vocal shield and a great mic,
Sure.
the right mixers can like EQ out the problems
Yeah.
that my room might be.
You fly with all that shit, or you just take like a
We fly and drive. Like the same guy fucking makes me delicious fucking water and does everything for my life. That like
yeah.
really he's like a lifesaver.
That's tight.
That's why I push it to you. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know what it did for me.
Yeah.
But he's just the best guy. His name is Versace. Is
That's
his name.
cool.
And
It's a
he,
tight ass fucking
yeah,
name too.
yeah, he fucks. He's a man. And he's from Iowa.
Okay, nice.
Grew up on a farm.
That's tight.
Mexican.
Nice.
Just got that Mexican like grit. You
Just
know what I
out
mean?
here
Like
working.
could do anything.
Yeah.
Like anything you ask him, he'll figure it out and do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes he'll like Penske truck. Like
That's
that's
sick.
what he's been doing while we're on this like nomad journey,
Yeah.
just traveling around. Like he literally drove like from Scottsdale to Montana in a Penske truck.
That's tight.
Yeah,
That's
and we just
really,
pack,
really cool.
just roll in,
Damn.
you know, and it's been a fun journey, man.
Is it important, like when you do make music on the road, is it important to like have like people around you? Like I'm sure you have to catch like a certain vibe. Like you
Yeah, I
gotta,
mean,
yeah.
I kind of like started looking at my days a lot different.
Yeah.
I started looking at them like, you know, as much as I have a bit of routine in the sense of like I have a whiteboard up there. I've written things down that I want to try to do every day,
Mm-hmm.
and they have nothing to do with work. So it's like, you know, commune with nature. Like I have nature, yeah, whether that's going for a walk or going out on the boat or going outside, just being outside for
Something
the
part of the
sometime in
routine.
my first hour
Yeah.
of being awake, go outside, catch that vibe. Um, you know, read or watch something, you know, positive, something to learn. You
Yeah.
know, I meditate, I journal. You
Yeah.
know, these are things that I don't do every day, but I try
Sure.
to.
Yeah.
And then with me, especially my situation, like I've had stiffness in my back, so like stretch, foam
Finding
rolls,
stuff like, yeah.
breath work.
Yeah.
These are all things that
It's what you need in the moment for
these are all
sure.
things that I
Yeah.
really think like set you up for happiness and success. I
100%.
really do. So my point is, I started looking at my days a lot different. I have that side of me that's like routine oriented in the first hour or so.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the day is a complete crap.
Yeah, that's really on like a routine in my sense too. Is like it's like a section of my day that I have to take care of.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole day is not like okay here at this time I have to
Yeah,
eat. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
It's very much like in a window I have planned out, and then the
Right.
rest of it is like what do I need today? Like
Right.
I'll switch it up. Yeah,
Right.
because
I
I
get
think
it.
too getting to routine like that's when you
Too
got to be
regimented.
able to like go with whatever's happening
Right.
with you. Like
Yeah. Like the flow idea.
Yeah.
I really take it to my like I really like down to like actually like just depending on who texts me that day and what they ask.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might be there. I wasn't planning on going to dinner and going out, but I will because I got this text.
Yeah.
And I don't like I used to try to like manage, you know, my nights and like working and like
Sure.
I'm gonna work the next 3 days and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but like I just let go of that all and like I look at all of it as work. So like your question about having people around. I love working in my privacy in my room even. Now
Sure.
since we left LA where I had a studio, like wherever I live when I like settle down, I'll have a studio separate building, you know,
Yeah.
like or you know, at least a separate part of the house or
Mm-hmm.
something. But I'll always from this point on have a studio in my bedroom because
Yeah.
it's just
So you're
something so intimate
Yeah.
and like something so creatively free about it.
Yeah.
Like no one's around.
That's cool.
And you kind of go places subconsciously that maybe you wouldn't go if there were a few people around. So
Yeah,
like
all right, I
I
see
do
what you're
like to
saying.
make
Nice.
music and I'm pretty rare. A lot of people but I also like when I'm on a wave,
Yeah.
I have bitches up there, my boys will be making, you know, I like that
Yeah.
studio vibe too. And
It's
there's
just whatever the day has.
and like a
yeah,
lot of times what's happening in the room inspires so much of what happens in the music.
Yeah.
So
That's
my
tight.
point is like the whole every day, day in and day out, going on the boat, or going out tonight, you know, whatever, had a conversation with my dad, whatever it may be, all of that is just like going into the crock pot of creativity that will come out in the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially the way I make music, just like I kind of just freestyle everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's stream of consciousness and some
Yeah.
of my favorite stuff just comes out, something that I would never write.
Yeah.
But I started to realize I was saying a lot of real shit.
Yeah.
And like a lot of it was like actually forward thinking. Like my mind wasn't even like it would like my music, I would listen back and it would like tell me shit
Yeah. That's crazy.
that I didn't really even like consciously know
Yeah.
about
Damn.
myself, you know?
Yeah.
And I've found so much peace in that because I used to micromanage my life like
Me too.
and my art.
Yeah.
And now I've become a lot more like an artist in the
Yeah.
sense of, because I'm not a traditional artist type really, you know? But yeah, man, like it's been super freeing for my life because I don't put shackles on anything.
Yeah.
And I also have an extremely free occupation. You know,
Sure,
like
exactly.
there's no
Yeah.
regimen at all.
True. But even like that's interesting you said that you like used to be very regimented. Like I think that's helping like I'm routine oriented when I need to be, but like what helped me I feel like finally get to that like successful point was like I don't need to be in control of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you do
Flow,
need to
baby.
yeah, like just fuck it. Like I could plan that, but like why?
Like at some point, you you gotta just like look down on your life and be like, man, I got no reason to doubt that the universe isn't conspiring for me.
Sure.
This is what I try to tell like anyone who's had, privilege or great opportunities or like even the way you look, your body type, why are you just this gifted? You know what I mean? Like this is what I try to you've done a ton of the work,
Mhm.
but you could have been born with fucking
Exactly,
terrible
exactly,
genetics.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
had no hand in it.
That's why when athletes are like, it's all hard work." I'm like,
It's just
"Yeah, you're
not.
6'9". Like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly. And
exactly.
I think that's a great thing to be aware of,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's a really great thing to be aware of as an athlete. It's just like it makes the whole scope it's all about what you've been saying, but it makes the whole scope on the whole thing like a scope of gratitude. Just like,
No,
man, I'm
yes.
pretty fucking lucky,
Yeah,
man.
or it's humbling too. It's like I work hard, like
It is
everything
humbling.
in my like in what I can control, I'm doing the best of my like I'm doing what I can do it, but like it's humbling in the sense of like I did not work for everything. I was born. I'm
Yeah.
6'7", whatever, and like I like things
Yeah.
are. I didn't. Yeah,
You
exactly.
throw a
Like
hundred. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Like there's no way I can become a douchebag and be like, yeah, I'm fucking shit. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
like
but
you're
a
six
lot of
seven.
guys go that way.
Exactly. I know. That's what
Because they're
like
just
I
like
see it all the time. But like
I'm
yeah,
sure, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think that's a great thing that you're aware of that, and it's really something I just try to push to the guys.
100. Yeah.
But it's like anything in life, bro. Anything in life. For me, once when I had that shift and I was having success in music, then I have two things that I was exceptionally good at that are pretty hard to do.
100%. Or
And
a million
the
people want
fact
to
that
do
I'm
it.
like judging my life and like
That's
looking down and not looking at it like a glass half full, like, dude, this is all luck, and a lot of it I just received, like, even the ideas I have,
yeah.
I don't know, I don't take full ownership of my ideas, bro,
100.
like,
Yeah.
where are they coming from? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know, but I personally, I look at myself like an antenna in the sense where, like, I meditate, I journal, I do this shit so that my radio stations turn to a high frequency,
Yeah.
and, like, yeah, maybe, when I meditate, shit, I feel like better ideas started flowing to
Yeah.
me.
Or like if there are external or there's things that like you haven't worked out personally, like you can't really tune into any of that
Yeah,
because that's what you have to like take care of all those things before
right,
you can have any sort of like peace.
right,
That's yeah,
100%.
very true.
Well, I mean, dude, I feel like we've known each other for a long
I
time.
know. I'm getting that vibe too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's super nice to get to know you, man. And I think I'm excited for the people, even my fans who might not, because I mean, look, you're pitching in small markets,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you're one of the most talented guys through and through, and it's super nice to get a scope on who you are as a person too. And I think a lot of the shit you shared was really fucking helpful, and it will be really helpful because to look at you, I bet no one knew any of this shit. Like the fact that you had those
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
hardships and you being willing to share that, that's gonna help a lot of people
Yeah.
because they
I hope
probably
so.
assume the opposite,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I think that's why podcasts are so cool. And
I mean, yeah.
I think maybe one day you have your own podcast. I mean, you do kind of already, so
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
knocking on the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah. There
But
you go.
yeah, I think it would be good for you and good for
Definitely.
people. But I
Appreciate that,
appreciate
man.
the time, man. And
Absolutely.
definitely, I mean, you're gonna be in season for a while now,
Yeah.
obviously. I'll be nomadic for a while, but
I'll
when we
be
get
there in
on
the
the
off
road,
season.
you gotta
Yeah.
come to a show
I'm
and
down,
catch
absolutely.
a
In the
vibe.
off season, I'm all over the place, so I'm sure we'll link up at
Yes,
some
sir.
point. We'll be around.
Absolutely. Thank you
Absolutely.
again,
Hell
sir.
yeah, dude. I appreciate it.
It's been a
Super
pleasure,
fun, man.
sir.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.